Hello, hello, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Let me just go ahead and keep admitting people. All right. I'm gonna wait maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 5 minutes to wait for everyone to join. I hope everyone's having a good evening today. Thank you so much for joining. But let's wait maybe a few minutes before we go ahead and start, just so that I can admit everyone in. So. mm, Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. Just giving about 5 minutes just for everyone to go ahead and join. Um, so if you guys want to go ahead and grab some tea or a notepad, feel free to do so. I'm just gonna give it a few minutes to admit everyone. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, admit all. Hi, Ruben.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How's your evening going?
Good. Right here at uh football practice with my little son, the
Oh,
little one.
how nice. It seems nice and sunny out there. It's so foggy over here where I live.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so it's really nice. Where are you at?
Basically, well, like the SoCal, but
Oh, okay. Oh, that's why.
like
SoCal is
Valencia, Santa Clarita.
SoCal is always much nicer than.
Yeah, right by like Magic Mountain.
Oh, how fun. How fun.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
How's
just
everything?
I'm just, waiting like maybe 5 minutes so that people can join. I had about over 200 people that signed up.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna wait like maybe 5 minutes for everyone to join. So
Okay.
yeah, if you want to just relax and just wait a second. I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna.
I lost you. Oh no. I wonder if it's my reception. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just can't hear her. Yeah, you're good, but it looks like she's gone for now.
Damn, okay, for sure. I was like, wait, is that me?
You're muted right now too.
She's probably just adding a bunch of people.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. I'm adding a bunch of people right now. I have over 200 that signed up. I'm not sure if all the 200 are going to be joining today, but I'm just going to wait like 5 minutes just to give everybody some, a few minutes to go ahead and log in. So,
No
Nice.
but thank
problem.
you
We're
guys.
chilling. We're
Thank you
chilling.
guys so much for joining.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I hope everyone's excited to learn today. Classes in
Always.
session.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
I barely ever do lives because I get so like nervous. And then the first like real live that I do, I get over 200 people that signed up. So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, right. The pressure's on. No, you're good though. I mean, it's super. Everything you post is like super natural, man. It's
Oh, thank
awesome.
you. Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna wait a few more minutes, maybe like at 7:05, and I'll just go ahead and start. I don't know if I should have maybe just not have put the option to hit everyone. That way everyone just hopped on because I don't want to like interrupt the class. So just give me a second. Hold on.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. All right. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Good, good. Maria, I see Maria here. Marcos, Lily, Liz, Mario, welcome. There's a few Marias here. Or oh no, there's one Maria here. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Break it down.
Mint. Okay. All right. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just start. I think people are just gonna probably just join in. I don't know how I'm gonna admit them after I start the class though. So
That's probably the cutoff. If you didn't make it,
if you didn't make it, you're gonna have to just miss out. Sorry.
my bad.
All right, hold on.
You're not recording this live?
I am recording it. I know there's some people that went ahead and signed up and they were like, can you just send me the live because I'm going to be working and all this. So I may just do that if people aren't able to get in.
Oh, heck yeah. That'll be awesome. Just to go back over the information.
Either way, that would be great if you could share.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, definitely, definitely. I don't know if I should probably send it all individually or just put it on my YouTube. I'm trying to figure it out. What do you guys
Whatever's easier for you.
Yeah, definitely. Whatever's less work,
Yeah,
Okay.
whatever's easier, whatever you feels right.
you know. But yeah, I don't mind getting it.
All right. I'll send it. I'll just send it to all of you guys and then I'll just put it on my YouTube. So I'll
Nice.
do both. It's not that hard. I'll just send it like a little blast email to everyone that signed up.
Awesome.
Or
Let's
you
go.
could post it on YouTube and then send everybody your YouTube link. That could be better.
Huh?
You could post it on
Oh,
your
and
YouTube
then send it that way.
everybody
Like
the
let
link.
everyone know that it's on YouTube.
Yeah, and then you can share the link with everybody, just to help monetize your YouTube as well. You know.
Uh-oh.
Good job, Ellie.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, he was saying just to help monetize your YouTube, it'd probably make sense.
Okay. I'm so I keep getting kicked out. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm so sorry. I don't know why. This is the second time I got kicked out. Let me just go ahead and start. There's already a good amount of people here, so welcome you guys. Thank you again for joining. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quick, and then that way we can go ahead and get started. All right, let's see. Okay, so share. I hope everyone's having a good night. Thank you again for joining me today. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yep.
All right, good. I really hope that that I don't continue to get kicked off because that's not good. And you guys can hear me good?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we
perfect.
can hear you.
All right, good. Okay. I'm excited. All right, let's go ahead and start. All right, so welcome you guys. Welcome to the 508c1a Masterclass. I know that, I don't know if many of you know about the 508c1a. It's something that pretty much caught my attention because I was dealing with some IRS stuff where they were trying to tell me that I owe a little over $20,000. And so I had to figure out a way to kind of just make an entity that's not directly with my social while I figure everything out with the IRS. So we're gonna get into everything, and hopefully I made this presentation and all the slides to where I don't know if you guys are gonna have questions after, because I detailed it so much. So I don't know if it's gonna be like an hour long, maybe an hour and a half. But I try to make it as detailed as possible to pretty much answer any questions that you might have. I'm going to go ahead and answer questions at the end of the session. So if you guys do want to ask any like general questions, I'll go ahead and answer. But during the slides, let's just kind of just stay focused, because I can tend to, be like, oh, where was I? And then I completely forget my train of thought. I have ADHD, so please forgive me. It's a true story. I'm not joking.
So do I. It's like, oh, butterflies.
Right. Exactly. So I need to like, stay on track. But anyway, so this is where we're going to learn how to, or I'm going to teach you guys how to build and protect your wealth, launch a faith-based organization that's private, protected, and completely tax exempt. So I'm not going to just tell you, I'm going to show you the facts. I'm going to show you where it says this, everything. Like, this is not just something that I'm making up. So I appreciate you guys coming here and being here with me today. So thank you. Okay, and then let's be clear, okay? So just really quick. So this is obviously, is for people who want to be tax free. You'd be surprised the people that I talk to on a daily basis, where they look at me when I start talking about stuff like this and they're like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, well, who's going to fix the roads? And they actually love to pay taxes. So this is for freedom seekers only. If the IRS is your BFF, this ain't for you. So I'm here to basically help everyone walk in their power, and not on, permission that the government tries to give us and things like that. This is like lawful knowledge that, teaches you how to just operate in the private, in your own power, in your God-given rights, no permission needed from the government. So I want to build a faith-based organization. We're here building that, and not a, government partnership, because that's what you do when you create like an LLC and all that. It's a partnership, right? So if any of you guys here enjoy paying taxes, please leave, because I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to be friends, and I will not take anyone as a client under that circumstance, because I don't feel like going back and forth with people about why, I don't think taxes are good. I mean, the rabbit hole can get really, really deep, and I just don't want to do that with people. I think that we're all on the same page. So it keeps and I just upgraded this too, so it's like pissing me off. It keeps kicking me out. I don't know why. Um, all right, so I don't know why it keeps kicking me out. Let's just go back into it. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay, so back to the slides that we were at. So this is for all freedom seekers, and a special thank you for joining me today and entrusting me with your time. I know that everyone's time is very it's the most valuable thing we can have. You spend time with your kids, you can spend time with just meditating, so the fact that you guys are here and entrusting me with that, I really appreciate you. I don't like to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time, and I'm definitely not going to waste your time, and you're going to see why. So thank you again for being here and learning about this. So let's go ahead and dive into what you guys are going to learn today. So you're going to learn the difference between what a 501c3 is versus a 508c1a, why no state registration or no IRS forms are needed, what is a faith-based organization, which is sometimes referred to as an FBO, why choose a 508c1a opposed to a 501c3, LLC, or sole proprietorship, etc., how is it 100% tax exempt? Legally, lawfully, and I'm going to show you guys again the facts, how you can run your mission, your life vision 100% legally, lawfully, faith-based, and spiritually and private and tax-free. So the exact blueprint that I use is what I'm going to pretty much show you guys, and how to protect that and protect your peace and your assets. So that way, nobody fears the IRS, no invasions of privacy, no more taxations, and no permission that's needed from the government. That is my mission. That's my life goal, to help people
I'm
to help people be tax free.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I will preach this
Wait.
in front of the IRS building. Okay, please. Okay. So I'm not a licensed attorney, so this is just a disclaimer. I'm not a CPA. I'm a free woman who built and created a ministry. So that's what I'm operating under right now, which is a faith-based organization without the system, and I am tax exempt. Okay. So now I hope you guys do the same. And I don't know why this came all kind of like all weird. So I'm sorry, guys, just bear with me. So I created my faith-based organization with 0 state filings. So, and we're going to get into why if you do decide to do state filings under uh, FBO, or if you don't, but what are the pros and the cons? My Freedom Codes website is not under an LLC. So I don't know if you guys have gone to my website, but it's not under an LLC, and it's not under a sole proprietorship nor a social security number. It's literally under my umbrella of Powerhouse Universe. That's what I operate under. So I operate fully under that. Yes, yes. So you guys are gonna start figuring out how this is all possible. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't know why this got all weirded out. Because this wasn't like this. I don't know if it's because maybe I converted into a PowerPoint from when I was editing it on Canva. But I'll send you guys a Canva version. This is not the best version. So because I'm gonna send you guys this PowerPoint, but I'll send you guys a better PowerPoint. Okay, so how to operate fully under the 508c1a without IRS control, no government. And then everything I teach is on facts, you guys. You guys are gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. I'm gonna refer to all the codes, things that you guys can look up, and then check them out for yourself. I think that that's the best thing to do as well, is not just, listen to me or anybody for that matter on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube. Like, really go and learn the codes and what does it really mean and say, right? So I was called to what I believe to be something beautiful, right? I like preaching the truth. I love telling people about. I'm so sorry, you guys. I don't know why I keep getting kicked off. This is not good though. And I don't know if you guys want to keep going like this, or if I should just record it and then send it to you guys, because then it'll be a lot more clear and uninterrupted, because my internet never acts like this. I don't know if it's because I have 50 people on Zoom and then all of a sudden it's acting all crazy and stuff, or what.
Uh, you want to restart your machine and try it again?
Yeah, why don't I do that? Why don't you guys take a little 5-minute break, and then let me go ahead and reboot this little bad boy, and then before I throw it against the wall, and then I'll rejoin.
Okay.
Well, we just go to the email to rejoin.
Yeah, no, I can well, when I get kicked off, you guys don't you guys stay here.
You
So
will
I don't.
stay here. Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't think you have to rejoin. I'm just gonna have to reboot my computer and figure out what the hell is going on. And
Oh,
then
okay.
hopefully that would work. But if it doesn't, I may just have to record it, because I don't want to teach you guys where I keep getting like on and off. So let me go ahead and try to reboot it. And then, yeah, give me about less than 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Take a breath of fresh air while I tackle this computer down really quick. I'll be back, you guys. All right, hold on.
Thank you. It's a centenario. I guess this coin was in transit back in the days in Mexico. That's what they used to pay with.
Yes, sir. Sir. We're gonna get back to that.
That's what we need to get to. Yes, lawful money, gold coins and silver coins.
They had it right. They had it right already. So we
Yeah.
gotta get back to that.
Yeah, I'm also I'm trying to learn how to endorse the bills of exchange and send them in, but I'm still learning on that.
I think best bet is to force them, bro. We gotta send it and force them in court.
But I guess there's got to be a certain place that you send it to, and that's what I haven't figured out.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the Treasury Department or what, but there's a
That would be on that end. There's many ends. I guess some people are saying that you could send it to a specific mailbox for the company, but then the other avenue, I guess the other avenues is going straight to the IRS or the Department of Treasury.
oh, because I got me a stamp too. It says without recourse.
Oh,
I sent the payment, but I went to the PO box and I don't even think they even opened it.
I've sent things to the Department of Treasury. I sent all kinds of bills and even a cover letter of them explaining what the intent and everything about it, and they didn't get to my filing like 2 months later, bro. 2 months later, I got the green card back, and I sent it in January. I got and they signed for it in March.
Oh, okay.
Then I received the green card sometime in April. So those bills were like way past, and nothing ever happened to it. And
So did you end up getting remedy for it or no?
no, not or if they did, I did it with some banks, and one of them was a payoff note. If they did, they're not telling me, but I'm trying to get them to disclose that kind of information. If not, I'm gonna file a complaint and make them disclose it that way. But so far, like, well, no, like I sent the registration in, that didn't get paid. I sent the credit card bill, didn't get paid. I sent in the payoff note. I'm dealing with the car, but the car bank, but the bank for the car, but they haven't told me to cough it up or anything. It's still
Yeah,
mine.
I think you gotta send it into the like to whichever bank you're sending it to, but to the trustee.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That way, that's what I heard, that you gotta send it into the
that's
trustee.
who I'm
Yeah,
talking to right now.
gotta send it to the trustee and a CFO of the person that runs that company that you have the bill with. So it has to go through a couple of things before you send it to the trustee for the treasury.
Oh, okay.
So you got to
Right.
find who the CFO of the company that, like, say for instance, Verizon. You got to find who Verizon's CFO is. Mail it to Verizon CFO. Get the signature from them. Then it's a whole process. I haven't learned it, but I know the CFO has to do with it. The chief financial officer.
Oh,
That's who
okay.
I'm talking to right now, and all these places that I said I'm talking to them, but they're like playing dumb.
Yeah,
And
they dumb for a while until you kind of get the process of it, but it is a process, but we just probably don't fully understand it all the way yet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of, and I think you gotta know every detail that you gotta put on there and where to sign it, because I guess it goes like on the on the upper left hand corner. So I mean, there's a lot of things that you gotta do when you send it in that they require. So I don't know. That's what I heard, but I just filled it out, sent it to that address, but I haven't received any. I'm gonna I'm gonna call them and see what they tell me. But I was hoping that I would see my account balance at
Zero.
least, but it didn't work.
Yeah, man. But it's a process we're learning. We're
Mhm.
gonna get to the bottom of it, bro. Even if we send it a couple 20 times,
Yeah,
different ways, one of them should hit, one of them has to hit.
I mean
And
that's what it takes. You got to learn, and
yeah, yeah.
every
And
time you do something, there's a learning experience, and then once you get it, you're like, well, took a couple times, but we learned it. So
yeah,
that's
and just imagine all these people all over the country start sending their shit at the same time.
yeah.
That yeah.
I talk to people and they look at me like I'm crazy
Oh
when
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm telling them like what I'm trying to
Yeah.
do and stuff. They're like,
Not, I'm not referring to those motherfuckers, but like us here on this call, and everybody, like all the followers, everybody that's working on it, like that's a lot
mm.
of people, bro. It's like
Oh yeah.
every state. That's too
Eventually,
much.
eventually we'll we'll get there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm trying to teach my kids all this stuff when they're young too. That way, it'll be easier for them.
Oh yeah, that way there's no fear, you know.
Yeah.
There's no pressure growing up. That's exactly why I'm doing it too. You know, I'm trying to get it to them, you
Yeah.
know, and they're learning it, but
I'm learning to the the life insurance is a good thing to do too. Like an IUL, you put it under the trust, and say you got like a $500,000 life insurance, and once you put under the trust, that's what it gives you the net worth, even though it hasn't been paid off, and you could borrow against it. So there's a lot of things that I didn't know. Like, man, trust, private trust, it helps you out a lot.
yeah, that modern money mechanics, that's the way they process those notes.
Yeah.
Somebody put it on the chat. It's a book, but it's a book that I think it's hard to find now.
And the other day, I got a ticket too, and I signed it without recourse. So when I go to court, I'm gonna see what they tell me.
Nice, nice.
Before I used to stress on stuff. Now I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah,
me too, bro.
kind of
Yeah,
like, I was like, you know what? That's good. I got a ticket, so I could try out this thing, see if they work, see how they react.
yeah, yeah. I feel alive when I get a bill.
Yeah.
I feel more alive now. I want to pay it.
Yes, but this information that she's gonna give us is gonna be great.
Yeah, this is gonna be a whole other chess piece, bro.
Yeah, because I mean, imagine if everybody sets up a trust, uh, they'll be set. Their family, their kids, they'll be set. Generation, generation
Right.
after generation.
Very true.
Where are you guys out of?
I'm from Victorville, California.
Oh, Victorville. Okay, I'm from Bakersfield,
Oh, sick.
right here down, couple
Down
like
the
three.
street, bro.
Yep, about 3 hours.
3 hours down the street. That's cool.
I.e. Okay, okay. In Cary.
IE, nice.
Yeah, we got somebody from SoCal too.
Oh yeah, that's where I
Southern.
stay at.
Okay, okay. Good,
Yeah, yeah.
good.
I'm always up in those areas though, Victorville, Bakersfield. I'm a licensed C-17 contractor, so I do a lot of work out in those areas. Windows,
Okay,
doors.
cool. I worked in the oil fields for like 17 years. So I worked all over the place too.
Yeah, dope. Yeah, we
Yeah.
cover from like Fresno to Palisades, and then high desert, low desert, Wasco, Delano, Tehachapi, Bakersfield, Victorville, Palmdale, all those areas.
Okay, Marvin, Bay
Up your
Area.
arms.
I'm growing weed right here in Adelanto for work.
Oh, Roland Gambling from Bakersfield. We got another guy from Bakersfield.
Oh man, waiting on you. Get to the white line. Get to the white line. Come on. This group I haven't broke you guys yet. Fuck now. Hey, this group right here, I haven't broke you. I'm talking about some. Why don't we take that last lap? Why don't we go ahead to test time?
Okay, see. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico in the house.
Puerto Rico in the house.
Damn.
That's sick.
I got a buddy in Adelante, and I think he's in Victorville too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
We all gotta link up one day, bro, and share the
yeah,
knowledge.
yep.
I mean,
Santa Barbara.
or just fucking hang out since we don't have fucking friends that want to listen.
Or just that you can conversate without somebody looking at you like you lost your mind.
Fucking crazy, yeah.
Nah, yeah, little chill, dog. It's crazy out here.
This conversation like, yeah, dude, this guy's lost. I'm like, nah, bro, you're lost. You don't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah, they look at you like, man, he's probably smoking something.
Oh, 100%.
But once they see it, I mean, they see it happening, like you're doing some progress and everything, how you live and everything, and versus before, and they still don't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Ignorance is bliss, bro. It's easier to live there.
Yeah, it's just like misery. Loves company. Like they always, somebody is miserable, they want to suck you in. It's the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
For a year, I've been trying to do this for a year now, and
Orange County.
at least, yeah, Orange County, nice. At least in this year, I have not paid a car note, but I've been driving a fucking new car. And
Oh,
I,
so like I was trying to figure that one out too. So when you, because I'm getting ready to get me a truck. So when you get a car, did you take the agreement with you and then read through it and sign it and then turn it back into them, or how did you do it?
I did the normal way, bro. I went in there like if I had the down payment, I paid the down payment. I had messed up credit, so they wanted to provide a down payment, but for one of the cars I got, they only wanted 2K, and then the other one with CarMax they wanted 1K. So I just did it that way. I ran the credit. I went normally. I showed them my driver's license, and I played it quite. I got some temporary insurance cards so I could get out of there with it, and then I left. And as soon as I left with it, I started doing the administrative process with the banks, letting them know that you accepted the note with my signature, and we got to roll this way. And it was kind of back and forth, and they kind of stopped for now, but they haven't been asking me for no payment.
And then they haven't tried to repo it.
Nah, they haven't. They haven't sent no notice. One car is locked up, they're not gonna get it, and the other one I'm whipping it around, and they haven't tried to get it, and I've had it since October.
Oh, okay, okay.
Make sure you lean that motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I
Malini,
need to do ASAP.
nothing's on there. I haven't even searched it to see if there's a lien, but there can't be a lien. There can't be a lien. These guys are not even. Their headquarters is not even in the same state I'm in, so they can't lien it. And if they do lien it, that's.
Mm.
No, I'm saying you.
Oh yeah, me. I'm a lien it. Yes, you're right. I'm a lien it.
Hey, look, because I had this stamp made, so that's what I'm planning on signing it with. When I go in there, I'm gonna get the contract. And I'm gonna tell them I'm gonna take it home because you got the right to take it home to read through it.
Yeah, you
And
do.
then I'll sign it with the stamp and everything. It says without recourse, pay to the order, my name in all caps, and then I'll sign it, and then my name right here, and it says agent. So I'm gonna sign it that way. And then I think if you put I reserve all rights, so that'll help you out too. So I just want to try it out. Because once they take the paperwork, they can be like, nah, we can't take it. They have to take it.
Nah,
Or you,
they're not gonna want to. They're gonna.
Hey, you guys. Sorry for the
Well,
technical difficulties.
find that
See how
security
everything-
interest too.
That's because you're on VPN. You gotta take it off. Just do regular. On my VPN? Yeah, just take the VPN off. Connect to the Wi-Fi. It was so much better. Okay, hold on, you guys. I'm having like technical difficulties. Thank you guys for being so patient. Just bear with me.
yes, ma'am.
Give me about 2 more minutes and I'll resume. Just give me 2 more minutes.
Take your time.
So
Nah, I think the dealership, they're not gonna want to reject your contract,
All
bro.
good.
They want to sell it. They're gonna just be like, okay, whatever. And
because
if
they're gonna get paid regardless,
but
right?
that's how I signed, bro. Like, there's no way you could.
Because they get paid
discriminate
regardless, right? They get paid regardless. So I don't think it affects them.
Jesus, is there any way you can show the stamp again? I'd like to see the wording exactly.
Let's see. Can you see it?
A little closer to the screen. I want to take a snapshot of it. To your left. There. A little closer to the screen. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. So I just went to UPS, but there's on Amazon you could just go on Amazon and they make stamps. So
Yeah.
Hey, can you guys see my screen? Is there anything on my screen?
Is your
Yeah.
picture?
Oh, it's my picture of the
Yes.
MasterClass.
Yes. Oh, now we can see
No, we see the slide.
the screen now. The slide.
Yeah, now we see
Okay.
your screen.
I'm gonna go ahead. Thank you, honey. My daughter had to come and help me because yeah, how do I put this? I had to get off of my iMac for some reason. It was just I shut it down, and then when I turned it back on, it was just not the best. So what I'm gonna do is I'm on my iPad, so I'm gonna present from here.
Oh, okay.
But you guys can see, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect.
Wait, hold on. You can also do it like this.
Oh,
I guess not.
okay, so let's go ahead and just
There we go.
let's go ahead and just start again. Sorry, you guys. Thank you guys for being so patient. I appreciate you.
All good, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so where were we? Let's see. So We did the disclaimer. I'm not a licensed attorney. I think we did this too. All right, so I think we were right here. All right, let me know if you guys are ready or if I should give you guys a few moments because I know you guys gave me a few minutes. So
I'm good.
we're good?
We're good. If they don't speak up and say no, then we're good.
Yeah, we're all good over here.
Okay. All right. Okay, so you know, so basically this slide, we're on slide 9. There's about 44 slides, you guys, just so you guys know. So I'm going to try to get to this quickly because I know that, you know, with the whole reboot and stuff like that, it kind of like messed a lot of things up. But you know, as an example of a calling, right? Like my calling is like, I want to let everybody know about you can be tax-free, right? For other people, it can be a different calling. You can have a calling of, you know, doing massages for people, for healing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's calling is different, right? But the way that the system works is that they want to make, they're never going to teach you this. First of all, they don't want to, they're not going to tell you like, oh yeah, you know, if you want to give massages or do people's nails and, you know, and uplift others, you know, then you don't have to pay taxes. No, they try to make everything commercial. They want everything to be commercial because they want to tax pretty much your guts out. I mean, that's what they want to do, right? And so so for me, you know, like I didn't register my Freedom Codes website. I didn't create a business. I didn't file it as a sole proprietorship or anything like that. I figured, you know, I was thinking, well, maybe I should put it as a church. And then you know, the whole thing with the church, a 501c3, that's incorporated. So anyways, when I did the whole 508c1a, I went ahead and tried to go to the bank. The bank denied me. You know, they were like, oh no, you know, we're gonna have to put you under a sole proprietorship or a business. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, you know, sorry, you know, excuse my verbiage, but I was so pissed because I'm like, there's no way I'm doing this. Is not a sole proprietorship. This is not a you know, this is not a LLC. And this was after I went ahead and got my EIN. So I was like so furious about the whole situation because I'm like, I went through all these loops and stuff and did my declaration of the faith-based organization. I did a bunch of paperwork only for the bank to pretty much deny me. So the thing is that, you know, you meet all these people that's online, you meet people that are on YouTube, you meet people that are on all these different platforms. And nobody, like they tell you, oh yeah, just this is how easy it is. And then boom, it's easy. But then when you have to walk the walk, nobody's really telling you what to do once you have like a roadblock in front of you, right? So I experienced the roadblock where the banks didn't want to open it as a 508c1a because when you do go ahead and get an EIN, even for a nonprofit, it shows there on the letter. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have gotten an EIN or if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I know all of us are on different like paths or journeys, if you will. Like, you know, some of us are just learning this process. Some of us, you know, are more experienced than other. But like when you get your EIN, you get a letter, right? And in that letter, it tells you like, oh, this is for, you know, an LLC and you're going to have to file this, or, oh, this is for a nonprofit, blah, blah. So when you get an EIN, even for the 508c1a, in that letter, it actually tells you, you know, you open this for banking purposes for your business, even though you click on the, you know, or like it's a church and it's it's tax exempt. It still says that verbiage in that letter. So the bank was telling me, oh no, we can't open up, you know, a nonprofit or whatever account. We have to open it as a business because it says that you open this, you know, that you create an EIN for business purposes and banking purposes. So, you know, everything that we learn in this, you know, with everything, not just with this, right? But everything, you know, that we learn, obviously, it's all about verbiage. It's all about wording. Like, that's how they get you. So when I was looking more deep at my EIN letter, I was like, these motherfuckers, why does it say business on here, even though I have it on the drop down that it said it was for a nonprofit, and I specifically put in the little other, you know, little box that is for a faith-based organization. So I wanted to come on here and kind of like, show you guys, and tell you guys and teach what you're supposed to do when you do hit a roadblock or something like that. So anyways, they were pretty much trying to have me contract with them, right? They were trying to, oh no, it's not going to make a difference if you go ahead and put this as a business account on the bank account. And it's like, that's bullshit. Of course it's gonna look like income. You know what I mean? So anyways, let's move it along. I know I said I was gonna try to go as fast as possible, but I tend to talk a lot. So let's go to the next slide. Where is the next slide? Right here. So then that's when I, found everything about the 508c1a and everything that is in the Declaration of Independence, which I've told people. I don't know if you guys have watched the Declaration of Independence and how it shows in the Declaration of Independence that you're not supposed to be taxed and a bunch of other things. And then, everything with the 508c1a, it tells you that you're not supposed to even file a 1024 form or a 990 form. Those forms are specifically for letting them know what kind of donations you've gotten, letting them know at the end of the year who donated to you, how much did you get in donations, everything, right? You're basically opening the door to doing business with the government and the IRS. So I didn't have to register this with the IRS. I didn't have to register with the Secretary of State or the state secretary. I did all of my paperwork, everything that I created. All of this stuff is protected with the First Amendment. There's no state interference. What you're gonna learn if you do end up going this route is that because the system is always trying to like one up all of us, right? I don't know how better to put it. I'm just gonna be who I am in myself, like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not corporate and like, oh, like this is just what it is. Like, because they always try to one up someone and they're trying to always take your shit. It's like people get taught to just be scared of the IRS, right? And so, oh shit, I don't want to call the IRS. I actually had to call the IRS and let them know everything that I found out about the 508c1a, what I found out in the Declaration of Independence, my declaration of statement of the faith-based organization, all of the documents that I have that show that this is a faith-based organization. I had to talk to the IRS tax law department, and believe it or not, I was on the phone with these people for 5 hours. They make it that difficult. Like I don't know who they have working there, Teletubbies, I don't fucking know, but really people that are sometimes I feel illiterate and don't understand their basic job. It's like, I'm telling you, this is a faith-based organization. So they kept transferring me everywhere. And I'm letting them know it's a 508c1a. It's not a 501c3. And so they couldn't understand what the hell I was talking about. I was like, who do I need to talk to? Like, so I ended up getting transferred to the tax law department in the Internal Revenue Service, their building or whatever. So just so you know, that is, we when going this route of freedom from taxes, you can't be scared to call the IRS and tell them who you are. Like, you're the boss, right? You're not supposed to be taxed for things that that you want to practice in your life and your vision, right? So that's when all of this hit me, that I didn't need their approval. I already had the right. And I'm just basically letting them know I know that I have the right. And I just needed to make sure that I build the faith-based organization the correct way. And before I had called them, I was like, you know what, let me make sure, right, that like what I'm doing and the faith-based organization, like what qualifies a faith-based organization, right? What qualifies a 508c1a? Because most of the time when you hear 508c1a, a lot of people think, oh, that's just a ministry, right? That's only if you're like singing hallelujah, thank you Jesus, and hopping up and down on the floor and falling on the floor and shit. It's like, no, that is not what it is. It's like so it has such a misconception, because it's a lot more than that. It's a faith-based organization. Faith-based means your faith is different than my faith, right? So your faith can be that, and I think I've said this on my Instagram reels, like, you know, marijuana. First of all, I don't even smoke marijuana. I'm just using this as an example, right? So I don't even smoke marijuana, but there's people that actually smoke marijuana and they want to grow marijuana, and then they're like, oh, but the government's gonna come. But who's to say that this isn't what you practice with your faith? Like, who's to say that this marijuana, and I'm not, you know, trying to advocate for marijuana. Again, I don't even smoke it, but I'm saying, who's to say that that doesn't make you feel like you're at a higher state, which I'm sure it will make you feel like you're at a higher state. But, you know, who's to say that that doesn't make you feel closer with your creator, right? That can be a faith-based organization, and then people that want to be members of that and donate to that or whatever, that's between you, that's private, right? So and that's not just, you know, marijuana. Okay, let's keep going. What else, you know, qualifies for that? So again, the 508c1a. So obviously, this is the legal provision under the Internal Revenue Code that grants the churches and ministries an automatic tax-exempt status without requiring IRS approval. We already went through that, the annual reporting. Here's what makes it powerful. It's codified in Title 26, United States Code, Section 508c1a. So you can actually go research this yourself. It recognizes churches, ministries, associations of churches, and that are inherently tax exempt. There's no form, there's no, you know, 1023 required to obtain status. So one thing that you're going to know, so I just want to point out really quick for the 1023 that they try to have people file at the end of the year, is specifically for a 501c3. Whenever you hear the difference between a 501c3 and a 508c1a, and I'm going to get further into the difference, but just think of it that 501c3 is incorporated. So when originally 501c3 is a 508c1a, right? Originally, because it's private, it starts private. But then when you want to incorporate it, you become a 501c3, because a 501c3 is basically going to the government, filing the status with the Secretary of the State, and basically letting them know, hey, I want to be incorporated with you guys because I want grants or funds from the government. So now you're doing business with the government. Now they want to know what you're seeing at the church. Now they want to know what donations you're making at the church. Now they want to know at the end of the year, you know, what you did, you know, file the 1023 or file the 990, right? That's required for the 501c3, but it's not required for the 508c1a according to 603 subsection A3A. So 508c1a is backed by the First Amendment and the IRS publication 1828. So again, you guys can go look at this. I'm going to pass this out at the end of the class today so that you guys can have this with you. You know, fact check me, please. I welcome anyone to fact check me because I'm always here to also learn. We're all here as a collective and to learn. I went ahead and fact checked this myself. So if you come up with something different, I will be surprised because my eyes were cross-eyed, okay, learning all of this stuff. So, but I'm open for discussion on, you know, if you guys find something else that's different, but I guarantee you that you're going to find exactly what is put on this PowerPoint. So anyway, so this allows the ministry to operate in private and unincorporated. That is the 508c1a. Okay, it preserves the freedom and the religious expression without interference of the state, the government, or the IRS. So this is not a loophole. It's the law. It's the legal/lawful foundation that empowers faith-based missions to receive donations, open up a ministry bank account, own property, right? We're going to get into like, you know, how can you transfer your property into the ministry, right? Because who's to say that if you ain't doing yoga in your living room, that's not faith-based. Okay, I'm just saying, okay, like, please, you guys, like, I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I please have a very open mind when it comes to all of this, because this is what it is. And dependent on how you
I guess, perceive things. Like, no, my house isn't that, well, then go pay taxes. Okay, that's go pay taxes. But if your house, I mean, I don't know about you, but my house is like my temple. Like this is where I rest my head. This is where I meditate. This is where, you know what I mean? This is where I have my coffee. Nobody, don't come to my house unless I invite
That's
you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
your
it's
private place.
correct. So it's like, who's not to say that that's not a part of your faith-based organization? And now you have a leeway to have it be tax exempt. I mean, you know what I'm saying? This is such an underrated code for people, because it's like, if people really knew about all this stuff, there would be less lien properties and people's homes getting foreclosed. But but I guess it's for the lack of knowledge that people have, unfortunately. But anyway, so you can issue employment contracts, you can run run education and coaching and outreach programs, operate in full spirituality and freedom, what your creator has called you to be, serve your community through any lawful purpose under religious and spiritual mission, right? So I was speaking with someone today. I don't know if you're here, Jesus, but
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, you are here. There you are. Okay. Yeah, I was speaking. I was speaking to you today, and I just want to, let the audience know. It's like, you were telling me like about like, and I hope that it's okay if I share this, right? That you open up a boxing, like a boxing gym, and who's not to say that you can actually do this, because that's what you were called for. This is where people can, instead of going out there and running amok in the street, this is where they come and they they feel at one with their creator. Because everybody feels, just because I feel at one doing yoga with, and that makes me feel at one with my creator, doesn't mean that's going to make you feel at one with your creator. You have your own way of feeling at one with your creator. Who am I to say that you have to be like how I am? And who are you to tell me that I need to go boxing in order to be? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all about perspective. And I don't have the right to tell you that. You don't have the right to tell me that. And damn well, the damn government has no motherfucking right to tell me, okay, what I feel at best with my creator, right? And if you're not doing anything wrong, what is the problem? There is no problem, right? It's all faith-based. That's what it is, faith-based organization. And we're going to kind of get into that right here. So faith-based organization qualifications, right? That's kind of where I was at, like, okay, so does my, like what I do on my platform, does that qualify as a faith-based organization? I didn't know. So I started researching, like, can it qualify, or is it just for a church where people are singing hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, right? Because that's what they make it sound like you have to, like, that's what they make it sound like it is all the time. Oh no, this is for a church. Oh no, this is for a ministry. So examples of a faith-based organization, right? It's obviously a church. Yes, you can go in, create, a ministry where you're saying, hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, jumping up and down, throwing yourself on the floor, if that's what you wish, you know what I mean? Or it can be something that's more like, not exactly like, Jesus or, a different religion. It can be inner healing, right? Yoga. It can be meditation, right? Something that has nothing to do with Jesus and other, mainstream churches, if you will. Skincare, right? Skincare can be part of you going back to feeling at one with your creator, like, making sure to take care of yourself, right? That's part of healing and wellness, right? Inspired platforms, if you enjoy to make people laugh, right? Like, or if you enjoy to just, tell your testimony, and that's uplifting to people. Anything that is uplifting, that is a faith-based organization. Holistic healing, right? Natural herbs. I said marijuana, natural health remedies, right? Counseling. Obviously, there's no license that's needed when you do all of this. There's no license, because when you apply for a license and all that, you're obviously asking the state for permission, right? Counseling can be like, oh, you were part of a domestic violence, unfortunately, but you were a survivor, for example, right? And now you want to go and counsel other women that are, survivors of domestic violence, or you were in a gang and now you want to go and talk to others and tell them that that's not the road that they want to go down. The roads are unlimited, right? It's like there's so many things that you can do with all of this, right? So spiritual development, right? Faith-based coaching, trauma healing, podcasters, musicians, right? Music is a way to be again with your creator. Writing, like expressing yourself through art. I mean, I think you guys get my point, I hope, right? So the key features of any faith-based organization, just to kind of recap, is operates with a spiritual mission or a doctrine that you choose, promotes value rooted in faith, does not exist to make profit. As you can see, I put quote off quote profit, because again, we're playing with words here, right? Like people would say, oh, I've always wanted to start a business to like sell jewelry, right? And I want to I like these stones, or I like these diamonds, and I'm going to start a business, right? Well, who's not to say that it's faith-based? Why can't you start why does it have to be a business? Why does it have to be profit? Why can't it be a faith-based organization when you feel better having diamonds on you? You know what I'm saying? I'll donate to that. Okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Or people that like crystals and stuff like that, that makes them feel like the room is a lot more lighter and feel better and more ambient and more, enlightenment in the room with like stones and stuff, right? And jewelry and stuff. Like, what's that? Not to say that that's not uplifting, right? So obviously this is a private organization, and it's really just a personal calling to what it is that you feel uplifted from and that you want to share with the world, right? Okay, so we kind of went through this 501c3 versus 508c1a, but I kind of wanted to just go a little bit more in detail. So what is the difference, right? So so with the 501c3 and the 508c1a, there's obviously an IRS filing of the 1023 form. For the 501c3, obviously it's required. For the 508c1a, it's not required. The annual filings for the 501c3, that's required. Again, it's incorporated, the 501c3. And then for the 508c1a, that's not required because it's private, it's unincorporated. So then government oversight. For the 501c3, it's high, okay? Because when you incorporate yourself, you're asking the government, like, whether you do ask for, the government to fund your church or your mission or whatever it is, they're going to want to know what they're funding, where's their money going to, what you're doing, what are you saying, everything. They're going to be all up in your mix. You're partnering with them. For the 508c1a, there is no government oversight. It's really none of their business. Political speech for the 501c3 is limited. Okay, so I've been to churches, and I know the difference between a 501c3 church and a 508c1a church. Okay, consider this a 508c1a church. Okay, fuck the government. I said it. That's the church. The 501c3 church, they can't say that. Okay, they are not supposed to say that. They will get shut down. So I said what I said because I operate under a 508c1a, right? You can't go in there saying that type of stuff. And the 501c3, they sugarcoat stuff. They have to be careful with what they say. Their First Amendment is, you have to tread lightly. So public disclosure. Yes. So obviously the 501c3 is public and the 508c1a is private. The constitutional protection. Obviously, we've talked about this, the First Amendment and other things. For the 501c3, it's conditional. For the 508c1a, you have very strong constitutional protection. And then as far as the funding, I think I mentioned that, the 501c3, you could get funded by the government to start up your church. The 508c1a is self-supported, self-funded, private donations only. You're not getting the government involved at all whatsoever. And then for so like, let's say for donor tax deductibles, right? So let's say I go ahead and I want, like, I'm like, let's say I don't have a 508c1a and I want to donate to a church, right? Or donate to someone's mission. For the 501c3, they would have to show the government and the IRS, obviously, what I donated to them, and then I can get that exempt as well at the end of the year. Like I can get not exempt, I can get a tax write-off, sorry. So for the 508c1a, if I choose to go ahead and then donate to the 508c1a, the 508c1a does not have to obviously tell the government, hey, I got this donated to me. But if I, as the donor, want to have a tax write-off for whatever reason, then the 508c1a can provide a receipt so that I can use that for a tax write-off and get that documented, and in case I get audited. The 508c1a wouldn't get audited, just in case I get audited as a donor and I'm saying, hey, I had all these tax write-offs and here's my receipts, right? So the 508c1a can actually provide receipts for their donors. Now, tax deductible filings form 1023 to record donations. Again, that's kind of what we just covered. So yes, and then the 508c1a is a no. Can a trustee or authorized representative donate? So when you operate like how I'm operating as a 508c1a, I am the authorized representative of the 508c1a, right? So yes, I can donate to the 508c1a. So both organizations, you can, the 501 and the 508. Can a trustee or an authorized representative fund or gift the ministry or the faith-based organization? Both are yes. Can your LLC or sole prop donate to your ministry? So like, let's say if you already have an LLC, right? And you're like, shit, I already contracted with the government, right? And I don't know what the fuck to do now. Well, you could move your stuff into a 508c1a, but let's say you're still trying to figure this stuff out and you're, trying to kind of move slowly. Your LLC or sole proprietorship can donate to your 508c1a, and it could still receive a tax write-off at the end of the year. So then let's go to the next one. Okay, so this is a spirit-led IRS proof faith-based organization. Most people start with the 501c3 because which is incorporated. It's an incorporated church, and now that makes them married again to the IRS and the state. People start either with an LLC or a sole prop, and they are also married to the IRS and the state. When you have a calling, you're like, oh, I want to open up, this clothing store, or, oh, I want to do this, or, oh, I want to, sell classes on whatever it is, whatever your calling is. Well, you just incorporated yourself by doing an LLC or sole prop when you could have just operated under a 508c1a with no state forms, no filings, nothing. So you don't register your calling with the state. You want to protect it, right? So this is legal and this is lawful. This is real and this is spiritual, private, and protected. Okay, so now to the facts, right? So the constitutional, legal / lawful foundational facts. So we're going to go over that really quick. So this is, I think, part 1 of 4, I want to say. So Title 26 United States Code Section 508c1a, churches, their integrated auxiliaries, help and support, which is help and support, and conventions or associations of churches are not required to apply for recognition of tax-exempt status. It's already tax exempt, right? You just got to let them know that, and then make sure that they understand, like how I did when I talked to the IRS legal department or whatever, to make sure that they rewrite what was on that letter of the EIN that said that it is tax exempt, period. It's not a business. It's not an LLC. It's not a sole proprietorship. The whole purpose is that I just have an EIN specifically to just open up a bank account to just receive donations. That's all it's for. That's all the EIN is for. Then Title 26 United States Code Section 6033 subsection A subsection 3 Subsection A, it says religious organizations are specifically exempted from filing annual information returns, which is the Form 990. And then Title 26 United States Code 501c3 defines tax-exempt entities, but explicitly excludes churches from needing prior approval via 508c1a. So, and then it goes further down to saying that the IRS publication 1828 tax guide for churches and religious organizations acknowledges that churches are automatically tax exempt and are not required to file the Form 1023, which is the form that you file at the end of the year. And then on 26 CFR section 1.508-1 subsection A, Code of Federal Regulations, further confirms that the statutory exemption for churches and qualified religious organizations. So if you guys go read that, it's going to explain a lot more. The First Amendment, which states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. This protects you, your rights to form and operate a ministry without government interference. And then here in Part 4, the Fourth Amendment protects your ministry records and communications from unreasonable searches and seizures. So they can't just come audit your stuff like, like a 501c3. They can't just do that. It's private. They're going to have to go through higher links, if you will, if they want to, audit you for whatever reason. It's not going to be that easy because it's private. The Fifth Amendment secures your right not to self-incriminate or be deprived of property without due process, applicable when asserting non-reporting rights. And then obviously I would hope everybody here knows that the UCC 1-103 establishes that common law rights, including those of contracts and equity, are preserved and can be used in private ministry structuring as well. So again, everything is here for you guys to also, fact check when we're done here. And then here, transferring property. So for any of you guys that do have property, or for you guys who are thinking about, potentially, buying property, how can you have it be tax exempt, right? And this is one of the ways. So you would have to define the ministry and the faith-based use of the home, right? Like I said, like if you're doing yoga, if you're doing, whatever it is that you're doing, meditation, healing, whatever, to move your home under the ministry. It must serve as a legitimate ministry purpose, such as being used for studying, right? I study here all the time. This is where I read. I have books on top of books on top of books that I read. This is my study area. Prayer. I go into meditation every time I wake up. Sir, Your Honor, what are you talking about? Counseling. This is what I'm doing right now. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? Healing. Trying to heal the people that think they got to pay taxes, Your Honor. What's up? Teaching them how not to from the Declaration of Independence. You know what I'm saying? Or religious education, and trying to align us to all know that we are one with the Creator and that God is our creator and our commander, not man, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is what I would literally say if I'm, please record me, because this is what, I mean, there is something for everything that is listed here that you qualify under, that we all do, all of us, each and every single one of us. Hosting ministry guests, events, or gatherings, right? Housing the founders or workers in the furtherance of the ministry's mission. So a ministry property transfer needs a policy or a declaration to clearly outline this. So all of this does need to be documented for record purposes. You want to make sure that, because when you operate in private, you got to remember that everything is about equity too, right? You want to be sure that everything is documented. There's never nothing that they can come in, and even though that it's going to be hard for them to do anything, but you always have your ass covered for anything, because it's your house, it's your property that you're dealing with. It's it's not something like small, right? So to transfer legal interest or use rights, so you have two options. So there's a use agreement, which the home remains in your name or trust, but it's used for ministry purposes. So the ministry can designate the home as a house of worship, housing for a minister or a worker. So like, let's say, for example, you know, my 508c1a is Powerhouse Universe, right? And that I'm the authorized representative, right? So this is like kind of an example. And because I'm the authorized representative, well, I need a home to live under while I work for the Powerhouse Universe. Does that make sense? So I can use a user agreement or a use agreement to allow the church to shelter me, right? If let's say I don't have a home, like if I let's say I don't have a title to a home, or I'm just renting, right? So now the church is helping me, you know, use this property while I help the church as well, right? It's housing me. But let's say you have a house. Let's say you've paid off a house, you have the title, and whatnot, and you're not renting. Well, you can do a full transfer of the title to the ministry, and it's a ministry trust, right? So we're also going to get into a little bit further down the line. What is the difference between a 508c1a versus a trust? Because they're not the same. And a lot of people get that confused, and they're two different entities. They're not the same. So anyway, so you create a faith-based trust or a ministry holding the trust, such as an irrevocable trust. Then you legally transfer the home into that trust, typically by warranty deed or a quick claim deed. The trust exists under the 508 ministry umbrella, right? So you can go ahead and transfer to, for example, Powerhouse Universe, right? But then the one that owns, you know, Powerhouse Universe is now the trust that really owns it. That's completely in the private, right? That's irrevocable. It doesn't even have an EIN. It's irrevocable. It's private. It's completely private. I'm just using the 508 EIN number to move the public into the private. Anyways, and now that home is now a ministry, and it becomes property of the ministry and tax-free. So I don't know if that makes sense for you guys. Okay, so reflected on your records, as always, make sure that, you know, everything is being kind of like if any of you guys do have a trust already in place, or if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you will. If you stick around on my platform, you'll understand, you know, what minutes are in a trust. But if you are familiar, you know, obviously you know that it's important to make sure that your minutes are accurate and up to date. So yeah, keep solid and internal records. So that's trust, deed, or a ministry use agreement, minutes showing approval of the use or transfer, logs of ministry activities occurring on the site, photos, calendars, and outreach tied to the location. This establishes substance and lawful purpose, right? And this is just to have just to always cover your end, right? Take a picture of yourself meditating. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it can be that. It can just be that. I mean, you know. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and go into misconception and truth clarified. Let me know if you guys are doing good, because we have about 14 more slides, or yeah, about 14 more slides to go. But let me know how you guys are holding up.
Great.
Great.
Good?
Keep going.
You guys learning?
Oh, good.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. So should I keep going, or you guys want to take a quick little break?
Let's go.
Keep
All
going,
right.
please.
Okay. All right. All right. So the misconceptions and truth clarify that I wanted to clarify here. So the myth: you need an IRS approval to be tax exempt. We obviously went through that. The truth is that 508c1a ministries are automatically exempt by statute. Number 2 myth: you can't run a business through a ministry. The truth is, as long as your service aligns with a religious, educational, or a spiritual purpose, they can lawfully operate within the ministry. And then 3, myth: this isn't recognized by banks or institutions. The truth is, that the blueprint that I help you guys with includes all the required documents and guides to open a ministry bank account with your EIN. And then it also outlines the stuff that I went ahead and went through, and you know what you can go about that once you, if you were to hit that roadblock. Because I've heard people that don't have issues with opening up a 508c1a bank account, and then for me it was like fighting tooth and nail. But I'm in California, so I don't know if it's just in California, but you know, it's crazy out here. Okay, so then myth number 4, the government will shut this down. The truth is, ministries operating under a 508c1a are protected by federal law and constitutional rights. So they can't just shut it down. It's private. There's no way. So now that you know the truth, let me give you the blueprint, right? So the 508c1a Bulletproof Blueprint is a step-by-step system to launch your faith-based organization, fully private, legally protected, and tax-exempt. It's built from my exact personal process. It includes every document I use to start legally and spiritually protected, zero filing, zero confusion, and it's just basically just plug it in and launch it. It operates in full faith without the IRS interference, state registration, or fear. Like, there's nothing that the IRS can come and tell me. Like, I wish they would. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish they would. because yeah, it's just like, because I just know so much of this, it's like I wish you would, because there's no way you're gonna get to anything of my donations or anything like that, because you can't. You can't, you know. And then anyway, so what's inside the Bulletproof Blueprint is the declaration of the ministry, the claim of life, the ministry EIN guide, operation manual, the sample donation receipts and employment contracts, declaration of independence, the 508c1a compliance guide, the signature/notary instructions, and a lot more. So that's what I offer in my Bulletproof Blueprint. And then basically what happens if you don't act, right? So the 501c3 puts you under an IRS control. So I don't know if some of you guys are under the 501c3 here, but yeah, it pretty much puts you in the IRS control. It's public status, which is public accountability. No legal shield equals legal vulnerability. No documents equals no protection. And then lose control of your mission, because now you're putting your mission, your vision into what the government is allowing you to do or not do, what the IRS is telling you have to file and not file, right? So now you're just letting pretty much them control your vision and your mission. You miss the opportunity to operate freely. You operate under a business and or file wrong. So like if you are operating under a business, you don't have to. I mean, if you already know that you can operate under a 508c1a because your sole desire is to paint nails, why would you want to operate under a business? You know what I mean? Like, I mean, every time I go get my nails done, I feel refreshed. I feel uplifted. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, I mean, I'm at the nail salon every 2 weeks because I'm like, I need my nails done. And then when I leave the nail salon, I'm like feeling so much better. They uplifted me, right? So I don't know why anybody would actually want to operate as a business. I just wouldn't understand that now that you know what you know, right? So you would, you would be taxed and governed by statutes if you wouldn't move your stuff. I mean, if you choose to continue to operate in the way that we've all been taught that it's the right way to operate, which is completely not right. It's completely the wrong way. So commonly asked questions. Can I use this for any type of ministry? Yes, I think we've gone through that. So I just kind of want to recap. As long as the mission is faith-based, spiritual, or religious in nature, this structure applies. Will this allow me to open a business bank account? Yes, with the included document and EIN, most banks will allow you to open an account in the ministry's name. So what you have to understand is that it's a banking account for donations, not for business. So it's just to accept donations. So I probably want to take that off before I send it to you guys, because that was an error right there. But it's specifically just for donations. Do I need to report income to the IRS? No, a 508c1a ministry are not required to file annual returns like the 501c3 organizations. So see Title 26, Section 6033, subsection A, subsection 3, subsection A. So it's going to outline all of that there, that the 501c3 does require, you to report income or donations to the IRS, but the 501c1A does not. Can I pay myself through the ministry? Yes, you can issue employment contracts and receive compensation for services performed within the ministry. And then some more commonly asked questions. Can I convert an existing business into a ministry? You can shift certain types of operations under a religious purpose, especially if they align with outreach, education, healing, or spiritual guidance. Can I receive grants and donations? Yes, foundations and private donors can contribute, and receipts are included in the blueprint that I have. What if I'm audited or challenged? So the legal protections built into the First Amendment, Title 26, Section 508C1A, and relevant case law provide a strong defense. Your documents show you're operating under lawful exemption. It's really hard for them to audit you unless you're a 501c3, because when you're a 501c3, obviously you're public. So there's the public and then there's the private, right? So it's really hard for a 508c1A to get audited. Can I operate in multiple states? Yes, ministries are not restricted by state boundaries. However, if you wish to apply for a credit, you may choose to register a public version of your ministry with the Secretary of the State for that purpose. So like, this is just an example of saying, if you want to be incorporated. If you want to be incorporated and you want to apply for credit or, a grant or whatever, then yeah, you can do that, obviously. And do that with multiple states, right? If you want your church to be in multiple states and you need funding from the state, then you would have to get it registered with the state and then ask for their grants and their, help you with credit and all this other stuff. But again, you would be incorporated. You won't be private. Is a 508c1A the same as a trust? So this is kind of where we're going to go into this really quickly. And we have about 5 more slides left, and then we're going to go ahead and open it up for some questions if you guys have questions. So is a 508c1A the same as a trust? A 508c1A is a faith-based organization, usually a church or a ministry or religious body that is automatically tax exempt under federal law, protected by the First Amendment, not required to apply for the 501c3 status, not a business, not a corporation, not a trust. Not a trust, you guys. It is considered a religious organization, not a contract or a private asset vehicle. A trust is a private legal agreement that transfers ownership of property or rights to a trustee. And a trust is created through a contract, not a religious law. It exists to hold and manage assets for a beneficiary, can be revocable or irrevocable. It is not automatically tax exempt, can serve religious purposes, but it is not recognized as a church by the IRS. So the key difference between a 508c1A versus a trust, okay? Because I've had 20 people this last 2 weeks tell me that a 508c1A is a trust, and it just drives me up the wall because I'm like, no, it's not a trust. Stop saying that. This is why people get in trouble. You know what I mean? Because you got to do your research, right? Okay, so for the 508c1A faith-based organization, the IRS code and the First Amendment. For a trust, the legal basis is contract law. It's private law, right? It's equity, right? For the primary purpose, the 508c1A is a religious/faith-based mission. For a trust, it's asset control, estate planning, very different. Obviously, you'll probably get it confused, like, well, I can actually transfer my home now into a faith-based organization. Yes, but then you need something to control that, and that would be your trust. Your trust will control your ministry and your property of the ministry. Okay, because now the trust is a contract. It's under private law of a contract, and the faith-based church house, if you will, it's just an organization, right? It's tax-free, right? But it's just an organization. It's not fully protected under the contract law of trust and equity. So the 508c1a IRS recognition, obviously it's tax exempt by default. A trust, it's not recognized as tax exempt, right? Can the 508c1a receive donations or a trust? Yes, obviously the 508c1a can. The trust, it can if it's structured correctly. So it's not the same, right? There's a lot more you can do with a 508c1a faith-based organization and then, the trust. There are two different, two things that you want to have to be like extra protected. They function just differently, right? Can the 508c1a hold property? And you can, and so can a trust. Can the 508c1a act as a church? And the answer is yes, but the trust cannot act as a church. The trust, again, it just controls the assets. It tells you basically, or it outlines, what happens when you're gone, so that you don't have to be in probate. Your kids don't have to be in probate. Your grandkids don't have to be in probate with your home that you leave behind. Now that it's if it's in a faith-based organization, tax exempt, they can't really levy your home. They can't lien it. They can't tax you. It'd be impossible because it's a tax-free church. Do you know what I'm saying? So now that you have that, now you have the trust that just controls it, and now it's just telling everyone like this is what's going to happen with my faith-based house. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. So are you guys ready? So this is your lawful right, and don't leave your call-in vulnerable. This is what I offer. So my bulletproof 508c1a blueprint bundle number 1, it's priced at $597. And this is for people who are just getting started. If you guys have like an LLC, or you're trying to change it because it's like, you're being charged too many taxes, or you just want to operate private, then basically what you would get here is a basic 508c1a setup checklist, the declaration of ministry. Everything is fillable. I created the templates where everything is highlighted for you guys. So you guys just have to fill in the blanks. Statement of faith template, samples, bylaws, and constitution, donation log sheet, plus the EIN instructions, and a lot more. And then I will give away free private group sessions to the first 50 people that get this today. I'm probably going to send this off to whoever didn't make it to today's meeting. But so because I thought more people were going to come. I had 218 that had went ahead and signed up. But anyway, so for the first 50 people that get it, I'm going to go ahead and host a private group session for you guys. So that way I can walk you through everything, have you guys set up. And then, I mean, this really it does not take that long to set up, you guys. You can have this all set up within a week, to be honest. But, obviously we have life, we have work, we have things going on, kids. So I say like, a few weeks to say the max, and then have you functioning correctly and tax-free. So if you guys, want that, that's there. And then the second bundle that I offer is the one with the irrevocable trust. So that's a bundle in itself. So I offer the bulletproof blueprint for the 508c1a and the irrevocable trust. And this is for anyone who would like the 508c1a along with an irrevocable trust. So everything that is included in the bundle 1 is there. And then obviously, because this has an irrevocable trust, it will have a declaration of trust, the official founding documents, outlines the purpose, parties, powers, how it operates, trustee acceptance statements, proves that trustees accepted the role, trust minutes, document major actions, Schedule A, property list, affidavits or I meant to put and letters of intent. And then faith-based statement of purpose, which shows intent and aligns trust with the religious principles and a lot more. So I'm also going to be, for this one, if you guys do choose to get this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to also include a private group session. So whoever does get this, I'm going to host a private group that will go ahead and talk more about trust and irrevocable trust and how to maneuver both of these into your how to operate, because I feel like a lot of people sell all this stuff like like the 508c1a or whatever it is, but they don't show you guys how to properly operate, why you can operate this way, pretty much get to like the meat of everything. So with the private group sessions, I'm going to make sure that you guys know the whole entirety of the irrevocable trust, all of the documents that are included on there, how to properly operate, along with the 508c1a. If you guys have like personal questions and not general questions, you can ask me there. And then that's for the first 20 who buy that today as well. So if you guys are interested, I highly would recommend that, because I've seen people charge, I'm not even gonna lie, like just for the 508c1a, when I was learning about all of this, I wanted to have somebody help me, and they were charging $3,500 just for the 508c1a. I was like, what is wrong with people? And then I wanted to get my irrevocable trust, and I saw people also, charging $3,000, $4,000 just for each thing. And then I get people that call me and tell me that, somebody charged them $2,000 just for one of these. And I'm like, oh my gosh, sometimes I want to give it all for free. But then the thing is that, there is consideration. Sometimes people, like I said in the beginning, I don't like wasting my time, like where I've had people that inbox me, call me, and they just want my energy, and they don't really want to change their life. And now I'm just giving you my energy, and I'm not getting anything but depleted from my energy. So, obviously if people are serious, there is consideration in this, right? So the consideration is I will sit here, I will teach you, I will go through everything that's in my bundles and show you how to operate. And then that way you know how to operate and you're good to go. And then, and I know you're serious because you would be doing the consideration of, it's a give and take, right? So that's that. So again, this is your lawful right. Don't leave your call-in vulnerable. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you guys got a lot of information. I'm sorry about earlier where I was having technical issues. That was horrible. But I hope that you guys learned a lot, learned something new, gave you guys ideas on how you can operate, gave you more clarity, if you will. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, I'll go ahead and open up. Let me stop sharing. I'll go ahead and open up for you guys to go ahead and ask.
Good question.
Yes.
What bank did you use to open up the bank account? Because I went through a couple and they shut me down.
So I went through PNC. I did a credit union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because a lot of banks that are like corporate, they'll give you a hard time. So it's easier with credit unions. And I researched all of it, and I was trying to figure out which credit union would be easiest. And I found out that PNC was one of them that was very, like they're known to open up private faith-based organization. Like that's what they kind of like specialize in.
PNC.
Like, yeah, I can send it to you. It's like Paul Network Cookies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I tried with a Valley Strong Credit Union, and no, they wanted me. They were willing to open it, but they wanted the grantor to open an account with them as well. So I was like,
Oh.
So there's
You mean
little things that.
What do you have a 508c1A or I'm confused?
Yes,
Oh,
but
you do have a 508c1A.
but I can't open the bank account. It's just hard.
What did they tell you? Like, did they say why you couldn't open it? What did they say?
They needed they wanted the grantor to have a bank account with them as well to open up a bank account. So I was like, no, it's a private thing. Like, why would
Did you put someone as the grantor? Who did you put as the authorized representative?
as a grantor? I did my buddy because you can't be the grantor and the trustee. So
Well, we're not talking about a trustee because this is not a trust, remember?
oh, okay.
So I am the minister of the church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of the faith-based organization, and I'm the authorized representative, and I'm the witness, and I'm all of that. I mean, I'm all of it because who are you to tell me that I'm not everything?
So when you did the paperwork, you didn't have to have a grantor?
That's for a trust.
Oh, okay. Wow.
For a trust. Will you expect hold on, let's see, you guys. I don't know if I should go through the comments really quick or if you guys want to raise your hand. Hold on. Maybe I'll go through the comments really quick. Thank you guys for making it through. It's been almost 2 hours, so thank you. Okay, so let's see. Once I try to restrict my signature with the gym membership, the managers be knowing, just like they know. Even if you go either way, you can get back from all the banks. Okay, I don't know. I think this is when I was gone. I don't know what you guys were talking about. There's the highest scenario. You still going to provide us with the PowerPoint? Oh yeah, I'm gonna provide it for you, Tamika. I'll provide it for all of you guys as soon as we get off of this call. And then Joseph, holistic healing. Yep. What about construction? I mean, if you have your own private construction business, if you will, who's not to say that you're building people's sanctuaries? Right? I mean, it's just a thought, right? I mean, if it's faith-based, I can't tell you what your faith is. I can't tell you what your faith is. Nobody can tell you what your faith is. Nobody can tell me what my faith is, right? So the government can't tell you. It's faith-based. They can believe in whatever they want to believe, and then you believe whatever you want. Who's not to say that you're, building a worship for others?
So I've got a quick question for you.
Okay.
So you said that the bank account is solely for donations.
Yes.
And it's a nonprofit. I guess I just don't understand. Is there a different vehicle you're supposed to use? Is that like why you transfer money from your trust to the 508? Like, I guess I'm just trying to say, like, what do you do with revenue if you even get any?
There's no revenue, right? It's all about wording. This is all a word game, right? So there's no revenue when it comes to the ministry, the faith-based organization. It's completely just donations. There's no income. There's nothing like that. It's just donations.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to fund a trust, you can. If your trust wants to fund the ministry, it can, but it's not going to be looked at, or you're not going to word it as income, or you're not going to word it as payment, or you're not going to word it as anything that has anything to do with that kind of wording. It will be worded as a donation.
Okay, so if that's the case, is there like a limit to how much you can donate to the ministry?
No.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
And all that being a possible write-off on the trust end.
For the trust end, I would have to probably look into that. But if it was an LLC, for example, or a sole proprietorship or a C corp, yeah, it would definitely be a write-off. Definitely. You would be like, let's say you have a business, right? Let's say you have something that's called business number A, and then you have the faith-based organization that's called faith-based 508c1A, right? And then your business, letter A or whatever said, I'm going to donate to the 508c1A, and you own both of them, right? You're the minister for the faith-based, and then you're the CEO, let's say, for your business. Now you wanted to go ahead and fund your 508c1A. Well, now your business is getting a tax write-off for funding the 508c1A to get it started, because it's private funding. You're not, you know what I mean? It's a private fund from you, and then the faith-based organization, all that has to do is now give you a receipt and say, thank you, to your LLC for your donation. I greatly appreciate it. And now that becomes a legal document that when you do your taxes at the end of the year for your LLC or your C corp or whatever, or proprietorship, now you have a receipt that you donated to a ministry, and now you get a tax write-off.
Very nice.
So Jasenia, I have a question. Oh, sorry. Are you?
No, go ahead, girl. No, go ahead, girl.
So basically, this is your faith-based practice showing us the freedom that we have, and the course, not fees, but those are your donations.
Correct.
That you're getting, and you're going to be making whatever you receive from these donations into your bank account.
Yes.
That you opened up.
Correct. Yeah. So let's say you have a nail salon, let's just say, right? And then let's say that you have a nail salon, you have it under the 508c1A. You can actually have either your house, I don't know, people do their nails at their house now, they have clients at the house, or they have an actual salon outside. Well, if you function under the 508c1A, all that is just where the transactions are going, right? How, like, everything has to run through an EIN. That's how everything runs now, right? Either an EIN or a social security number, right? So why not run it through a faith-based organization EIN that's tax exempt? That's you bringing, uplifting others. And now this is not considered, I mean, if you want to call it, it's a payment, but, obviously, if you followed me long enough, we know what person means, we know what a United States citizen is. It's all a wordplay, right? So I don't accept I don't accept payments. I don't get income. I don't know. I think I talked about this on one of my reels that I just uploaded maybe like a few days ago, or my story was that I want, like, when I finalized the divorce with my ex-husband, the mediator was like, do you want to take his pension? Do you want to take this? And I was just like, I kind of felt bad for him, because I'm like, I've already surpassed, not in a way of like, I'm trying to figure out what the word is, in a prideful way, like, brother, you need this more than I do, right? Your income, because you're being taxed, and you left me because I was trying to help you not be taxed, because you thought I was this crazy conspiracy theorist, right? So I looked at him and I felt bad, because I'm like, I think he should probably keep all the pennies that he has, right? And not in a messed up way, but I felt bad. And then, they asked him, how much do you make? And he's making about, like 6 figures. He's making close to 150,000 a year. And then they turned to me and said, how much income are you making, Yesenia? And I said, I'm making 0 income. And the mediator was like, and you don't want to get spousal support? It's all about picking my battles. No, I think he needs it more than I do. I receive donations. You can never track me as much as you want, right? And so it goes back to my story from the beginning, where I had the IRS coming after me after he had left, because I was doing crypto and all this other crazy stuff, and I kept trading Bitcoin to United States USDC or whatever, and converting it. And so the end of the year came, I didn't file my taxes with them or whatever, or let them know that I was, doing this crypto trading. And so they're like, we're gonna penalize you $20,000. And I'm like, bitch, like what? Like, I didn't know I had to tell you that I'm doing tradings, right? So I guess I did because, obviously I was functioning under the Social Security number, right? And so I figured, okay, how the hell do I get out of this fucking system? Because they keep saying they're going to levy my bank account. They're saying that they're going to do this. They're going to levy my wages when I was working and all this. That's when I came to the 508c1a. I was like, okay, now it won't be income. Now it will be donations. You can't levy my donation, bitch. You can't tax me on this. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I hope that makes
All
sense.
right. Yeah. So when you put your assets into the 508, can you borrow against it as a network or no?
I don't know if you can. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't looked into that. I know that you can't.
Under the trust.
No. I know that you can't. I don't think you can do like borrow. I think you can under the 508c1a. I don't think you can borrow anything from it. But I would have to double check I would have to do my research just to make sure. But that's a good question. I haven't even thought of that, honestly.
Yeah, because I know, well, I don't know, but I heard that when you put all your assets under your trust, that gives you the net worth, and you could borrow against it, but I don't know about.
Yeah, you can borrow against your trust, but I don't know if you can borrow against the 508c1a.
And can you have all your properties, everything under the trust and the 508?
Right. So the 508 would be just like something that would just take it out of the public, right? So like your house, usually like vehicles, you may want that just under your trust, to be honest. That's how I have my vehicle. It's just under a trust. It's not under the 508c1a. But like a house, you would probably want that under the 508c1a just because it's tax exempt. So now you don't have to pay property taxes, right? But you also are going to want the irrevocable trust should, God forbid, you're not here tomorrow. So now you have a full outline of direction on who's the beneficiary of the organization. Who does this go to? Now you have direction, and nobody can come and be like, oh, well, now this property, he died or she died, and now it's ours. It's just to keep it in your generation. Have it be tax exempt and protect it, Any more questions, you guys?
I have a question. So I filled out the form, the SS4, which we were talking about, the 508(c), and I put myself as a responsible party, and I put my social security number on there.
Yeah.
Did I put myself back in public by doing that?
No, you have to have the social security number in order to get an EIN. You have to. When you get the EIN and you put your social security number, you're literally just putting yourself as the authorized representative, which you are. You are you're the authorized representative of your name, right?
Yeah.
Your all caps name. You're the authorized representative. You are authorized to use that, right? Okay. So you have to have a social to get that EIN. And so it doesn't mean that, the ministry belongs to you per se, right? Because all of this is, and I'm sure you guys have probably heard about it, is own nothing but control everything.
Yeah.
Right. So that's just how this is. Your straw man name, your name doesn't mean anything, right? Now the ministry or the trust owns it. You're just the one controlling the pieces to it. You're the authorized representative. That's all you are right now. That's what you want to be.
So it says it like in two different places on that form, the SS4 form. It says it like the grantor, the executor. If this is not a trust, then why are they asking for who's the grantor or executor or grantor or the trustee? Should I even not write something there either?
I don't know how you filled out your SS4 because that didn't ask me that.
So it's like, I think it's number 3. So it's 1, 2, I think line 3. It says, because 7A is the responsible party, but above that, above the mailing address, over to your right, it's going to be something about.
I know there's like a responsible party, or like who do you want to like, is there like a care of name?
Yes, care of.
Yeah, care of. Yeah, you can be the care of. That doesn't mean like it can be somebody else just caring for the church or caring for the trust, right? That doesn't mean that the grantor or the trustee, you know, it has nothing to do with that. That's just someone that can, you know, receive mail on their behalf, which you would want to put yourself because you're the authorized representative for that, for the, you know, 508c1a.
And then I have one more question. I do have a business. I have an LLC. I know the words donations and profits and payments or whatever. Do I just still keep my LLC, but do I put it under the trust, or do I put it under the ministry? I'm still kind of confused.
How do you have your stuff set up?
It's an LLC. It's a for-profit LLC. I have a lash company.
Okay, but no, I mean, is everything like online? Like, how do you have everything's online? How do you have?
Yes, everybody books appointments online. They make appointment through electronic payments or whatever, or they pay cash or whatever.
Okay, is it like through like Squarespace? Like, what is it through?
Like, Vagaro, the appointment.
Okay, so yeah, I would like usually those types of things, like for me, I have Squarespace, right? I have the freedomcodes.com under Squarespace. And then all I have, you know, I switched it because when I started learning all this, I was like, fuck this shit, you know, like I'm changing the EIN right now.
Okay, so you put your EIN under the ministry EIN, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So should I just create, because I have a straw man account and that's one ministry. Do I just create a whole separate ministry for my business?
Wait, what do you mean? Sorry, you're gonna have to say that one more time.
Okay, so the straw man account, I have that. That's what I'm working on for my personal ministry as well, right? Do I put that business that I'm trying to get over into a 508(c)(1), do I create a whole separate ministry for that? Because that's a whole separate ministry because it is a business. Or do I put it under the original, my birth name account?
You don't want to put anything under your name.
No, not my personal name, but the straw man, the all caps letter.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want to put anything. It would have to be like something different.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So I can't create a separate ministry just for that. My artistry of lashes, basically.
Yeah. So if it's so like, for example, this is just so to give you guys like a little example. Like,
okay,
let's say, you know, for me, Yesenia Rose, right? That's nowhere in my EIN, right?
Okay.
Because it's private. Yesenia Rose is private. And then Freedom Codes, that's also going to be, that's now private too. So the way that I have everything functioning under is literally under the EIN of the Powerhouse Universe, which is under the 508c1a. So that name itself is just that is what's operating Yesenia Rose, and that's what's operating Freedom Codes.
Okay, so Freedom Codes is the owner. Is it the owner?
Freedom Codes, it's like a consultant that is in the ministry of Powerhouse Universe.
So it just acts as its own. I'm so confused. So it acts as its own, like, okay, so say for instance, your Powerhouse is a 508(c), right? And then you have the 2 separate entities underneath that, right?
Right.
Are those LLCs, or is that in the 508(c) owns those LLCs, or is
no?
No.
So the 508c1a Powerhouse Universe, that's EIN, right?
Yes.
And then Freedom Codes, it had its own sole proprietorship, but I decided to just end it because I'm like, there's no point in that, right?
Okay.
Now I just have the Freedom Codes operating under Powerhouse Universe. So if Powerhouse Universe presents to you Freedom Codes.
Oh, okay.
Powerhouse Universe presents to you Yesenia Rose.
So
So
you just got
like,
rid of those EINs for those original businesses, basically.
Yeah, there's no reason to use it unless you're trying to get taxed. I'm not trying to get taxed.
Got it.
You know,
I got it.
and I can make up whatever it is, like you said, your eyelash in line, right? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is my eyelash in line, and then I'm running it through Powerhouse Universe
Oh,
because
got it.
we like to feel beautiful and we uplift each other. What you gonna say about that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what they gonna say? What they gonna say?
Okay.
so it's like the Powerhouse Universe hiring the private codes.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Or it wouldn't be really I mean, you could hire them, right? And they can get some kind of like income, if you will, because Yesenia could get income, but Yesenia can work for free because she
Yeah,
feels like it.
she's donating her
Yeah, you know, freedom
her
codes.
time.
Exactly, freedom codes. You know, freedom codes just wants to be with Powerhouse because freedom codes likes Powerhouse and doesn't even feel like has
But
to
you're
get any money.
you're volunteering your time to.
Correct. Just like when
Okay,
you go
okay.
to a church and you're like, hi, you guys, how can I be of service? You know, oh, can you, let the, go pass out, water or cookies to, okay. That's what Freedom Codes is. Yesenia is the host.
All right.
So is Freedom
Yesenia, I have
Codes?
a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question for you regarding 1099. Is that also, can that also be viewed as donation? Maybe you covered that, and I'm sorry, I missed that part.
No, it's fine. Can a 1099 be viewed as donations?
Yeah, I mean, I have a business, well, ministry now, but I get 1099s.
Okay, so that's what you have to file at the end of the year.
Like, yeah, like a subcontractor.
Yeah, so you cannot get donations. I mean, I guess you can, you could, but you would have to
and by the way, I am a yoga teacher and I teach through the company who finds clients for me. So I get a 1099 from them. I get paid directly, but I am my own person. So 1099 does not fall under the category of donations.
No, because you're under like a sole proprietorship.
Right. So we're only talking about 508 C1A for checks, cash.
Even for checks and cash, like how when you get your bank account, like let's say me, for example, like, when you get your bank account open under your faith-based organization, it's gonna have the name of your faith-based organization. So whatever that is that you want it to be, Enlightenment Yoga, whatever it is that you want to be. And then it's going to have your name because you're the one that's the authorized representative to go and cash those checks, those donations. Do you get what I mean? So it's always going to have your name because you're the one that's authorized to control it. Nobody else is authorized to control it except you. But you're not going to have a 1099 or anything like that. You'll only have a 1099 if you're incorporated in some way. Whether for you, it's right now you're incorporated as a sole proprietorship, right? So you're operating off of receiving income and not donations.
I see. So the only way would be to cut ties with this company and just find my own clients and
no, I mean
that way.
You can ask them because obviously they hired you as an independent contractor because that's what a 1099 is. You can just give them a different EIN, which would be the 508C18 EIN. And then see how they respond to that. And then it's really none of their business. What you know what I mean? What you're doing because you've already provided what you needed to provide, which is an EIN. That's all they're asking for. You know what I mean? So
okay. Which they will need my social security number because for EIN, I do have to provide social security number.
Yeah, so on my blueprint, it'll show you like step by step how to get it. It's really simple, but yeah, on the IRS website, you will need your social, but you don't give your social to the company that you're with.
Okay.
You just give them your EIN.
Okay.
Yeah, so you would give them a new EIN and say, hey, I just want to, give this new EIN to you guys. If you can just update my information. And then, they could probably send you a 1099 at the end of the year because they don't know. But it's not for you to file the 1099 because you wouldn't be incorporated.
Okay. So I wouldn't give my name on this EIN, but just the ministry name, if you will? Or is that
you would
am
be
I asking the right question?
no, you are. You would be, so it would be the main ministry name, right? So like, for example, Powerhouse Universe, right? And then you can put yourself, and everybody's, should do this, is put themselves as the authorized representative. So you're the authorized representative to work, to control this and this ministry, this faith-based organization. So your name is on there just as the authorized representative.
Got it. Okay. Wow, that's so interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the chat on the Instagram. That was me. We talked about the ticket.
Oh, nice. I love yoga, by the way.
Oh, awesome. I told you I was going to show up.
I'm glad you made it. I hope that you learned a lot tonight.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here.
So I had one more clarification. So the freedom codes that operate under the Powerhouse, the freedom codes have their own EIN linked to it as well? Or is it kind of like Jasenia, the authorized?
Oh, so originally, before I started functioning under the 508c1a, yeah, Freedom Codes had its own EIN, but as a sole proprietorship. But because I figured out the 508c1a, and I'm like, well, what I'm doing is I'm just telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that I post on my site is stuff that I'm like, oh my gosh, people need to read this. So I'm just thinking like, well, everything that I do is faith-based and it's a mission, my vision, where I envision myself. So why am I doing contracts with the government? I mean, I don't even like the IRS. I don't know who does, but I don't. So it's like, why would I want to continue to use the Freedom Codes EIN when I can just use the Powerhouse Universe EIN? And now everything that flows through the Freedom Codes website is going straight to Powerhouse to its bank. It's like an umbrella. So you got to think of it like,
So it's because you have to transfer, but ultimately the freedom codes could just be the authorized individual, which could be myself.
Exactly.
Like you just open the business the right way from the first place, and then you add yourself, which would be my legal name.
It wouldn't be a business though.
Oh, correct. Just a faith-based organization.
Right. So it would be a faith-based organization, and then you would be the authorized representative. Now, in the faith-based organization, once you receive that EIN, you can bring anybody along. You can bring Yesenia Rose in the mix. You can bring, eyelash salon in the mix. You can bring, they don't have to have an EIN. It's private.
They're serving me free of charge, or they're just donating their services.
Correct.
Or their knowledge, whatever it may be.
Exactly.
Okay. And I do need to drop off soon. Or will you be sharing the
the presentation?
The presentation in general.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send it to you guys all via email right now. Is there anyone else that has any questions or anything like that?
I have a question. So I want to open up a website selling like peptides and supplements. How would I take payments on a website for products?
Same thing.
It would be a donation?
It would be a donation. So you would have to make that clear on your website too, but you would run it through the 508c1a EIN. So again, for example, I have Squarespace, right? So all the donations that run through my website is through, Square Pay, or it's through I think Klarna or whatever.
Klarna,
yeah, whatever that's called. And then what else is there? Squarespace Pay, all that stuff. Anyways, it all runs through the EIN. So that EIN, it's already tax exempt. It doesn't show up as a payment. And everything that's on my website is faith-based. Everything that's on there is, from what my mission is in call-in. So if you want to go and sell supplements because you feel it's going to better someone, uplift them, make them feel, it's going to help them in their everyday life and health, why wouldn't you just run it under that EIN so that when you do receive any kind of, you have to just continue to remind yourself that it's not a payment, it's a donation.
So you really got to paint the picture on your website, like the mission statement, make it, you really sell that it is like a movement, right? Not just like I'm selling stuff.
Well, I mean, you're gonna want to do that anyways. I mean, why are you selling peptides and stuff, right? Why?
All right, exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
you're gonna give your statement,
Right.
period, regardless if it's faith-based or not. You're gonna tell people why you felt the need to go on there and start selling these products, because it comes really from your faith originally. I hope
And
so. I hope so.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, definitely want to help people, but is that gonna, so once you create a 508c1a, even if I'm selling like products, that the IRS cannot get involved in any,
it's private.
It's private. So even if it's public in the form of a website,
well,
that's what I mean. There's so much like, just
yeah,
people are going to be
saying.
promoting it, buy my products on Facebook, like marketing it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So buy my product.
Yeah, like a store.
I would word it differently. I would say, this is for your health, everything is about wording. I've been saying this, right? So everything is about wording. So, take advantage of this, asking for a small donation. This will literally, change your health and blah, blah, blah. You can promote that all day long. Or you can say, sorry, go ahead.
Or maybe have them get a subscription to your website.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So maybe I could sell the products initially, but for members, you basically are joining this like science-based health organization.
Correct.
And with your donation, it comes with X amount of peptides for that price, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So everybody that goes on your, my bad, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead, Jesus.
So I think everybody that goes onto your website, they would have to get a subscription, and that way it's not out in the public. Yeah, so if they want to get to know you, you have to get a subscription. Right. Where you can go in there.
So not even talk about the donation portion till they're members.
Until they go in the website.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got you. That makes sense.
You can even have things embedded like on your website, like where you say all rights are reserved. Like mine says all rights reserved, but people go even further in because I just reserve all my rights. Like I don't even give a shit. I don't feel like explaining. Like this is what it is, and if the IRS wants to come, let them. Let them. I'm not scared of the IRS. So, but for people that want to be sure, like that they're not, being messed with, you can always put like this disclaimer, little links on the bottom, like, hey, this is a disclaimer. This is a faith-based organization, read the fine print. You know what I'm saying? When they check out, they can have like agree to all the terms.
Now, once they make their donation and their purchase, right, with that donation, do I let people know that they can write that off because it's like they're getting products in exchange for that donation? Should I advertise that they can they actually write that off as a?
Yes, they can.
Even though there's a product exchange for it?
Well, I mean, when you go to church, aren't you getting something in return?
But it's a service, which is kind of like different than an actual good. Like you know what I mean? Like a service is like a feeling, whereas a good is like.
But isn't a supplement give you a feeling of health?
It's gonna help you heal.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it could be it's a faith-based remedy of health. Like, there's people that believe that cancer can be healed without all the stuff in the like in the hospitals and stuff.
It definitely can.
Well,
yeah.
That's why I mentioned marijuana.
Yeah.
ooh, I'm not that I'm advertising for marijuana. I don't even smoke marijuana. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's just that this is how, like, when I've seen all of this, like on the news, like, oh, California is gonna go ahead and make sure that, now you can buy marijuana. It's like, bitch, you could have bought marijuana a long time ago. Okay, what are you talking about? Like, why? Like, oh, now daddy gave us permission? No. Like, who's not to say this is what makes me feel better? And I feel I'm at, one with my creator. This is my part of healing. This is my part of uplifting, and I'm operating correctly. Now, if you want to buy marijuana from me and you feel the same way, brother, you're a member of my church now.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, real quick, I have a question again. So what did you do with your sole proprietor LLC? Did you have to tell the IRS that you were closing down and stuff?
No, I just don't. I mean, when I first started the Freedom Codes, I was, again, reading through a lot of things. So I generated less than what it was to be. I think it's like 20,000 out here in order to go ahead and file with the IRS, like what you made. So I was beneath the threshold of that. So I didn't have to even say anything to them. There's nothing to say. I didn't make that much to have to even say anything to them.
Okay, yeah,
I got it. Yeah. I got out of it just in time.
Okay.
To start, operating privately and then tax exempt.
Okay, I got it. So I probably have to look that up and see what I need to do, because I make over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yesenia, I got one more question. So if I was to do the website with the membership for the donation, so I would essentially have to create the LLC first and the 508c1a, because if I just opened up the 508c1a, I couldn't really promote the membership donation part. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to get people sucked in first to the website with the products, and then, by the way, if you become a member, you can donate, and it'll be a donation, right?
no, because you would have to operate either under one or the other.
You can't, I could have two, but one linking to the other, right? Like, once you become a member, now you're donating to my organization rather than purchasing on my website. So I can funnel people into the charitable organization through my LLC. Because if I just start off with the charitable donation, it's like people are never gonna, they're like, this is gonna be weird, right? They're gonna be like, this is weird, like, sounds sketchy. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? What kind of website is this?
Not a lot of people know this stuff. That's why it seems sketchy to some. Because,
right.
Oh my God, you're not paying taxes. We're not talking to him. Another conspiracy theorist.
Right.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to figure out how you would funnel it.
So maybe two different entities, and then I could donate from my LLC profits to my
you could do it that way.
Foundation.
You definitely do it that way. That's another way to do it.
Okay.
Is that you can have, obviously you can have two bank accounts, right? So if you really want to market this as a business and not a faith-based organization, right? And not just be tax exempt from the jump, but you want to just market it to everyone and anyone, right? My thing is very, I don't know if it's the right word, niche, where the audience that I get, the people that I get, they want freedom. So,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for it. It's like, if you don't want freedom, I don't know what you're doing in my website, brothers. I don't know why you follow me on IG, because like, this is all I talk about, right? But for you, if you want something more like that's more public friendly, if you will, it would be probably, it could be a good idea to go ahead and just, have your LLC and then have your faith-based organization. And then whatever you get from your LLC, now you can donate it into the bank account of your faith-based organization.
Gotcha.
And now, you can either put your money there, do whatever you want with it there. And then now, your faith-based organization can write up a receipt so that your LLC can now have a tax write-off at the end of the year.
And once you do that, like, the IRS is never gonna poke in there. It's never gonna raise a red flag to where, like, they can dig into your books and
The
Like,
only way that they can dig into your books is if you are an LLC, a sole proprietorship, have a social security number that you're operating directly under your social, like a United States citizen, or you have a 501c3, which is a like incorporated church. There's no way that they're gonna have the authority to actually go into the 508c1a. For your LLC, maybe, like the LLC can be audited, right? But the 508c1a, why would that get audited? For what reason?
okay.
Right? Because the 508 hasn't contracted itself with the government. It hasn't.
Even though there's a link. Well, yeah, because like the link could be, even though it's like linked on my website, that we're kind of like working together. Like,
oh, so you mean still funneling it in?
yeah, because like,
Okay.
I want to create the membership. Well, I guess nobody would know unless they become members. But if I had like an
Right.
IRS person become a member and they're like, hey, this guy's giving peptides away for donations.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
I would have to look further into that, to be honest.
okay.
I mean, I love researching, so I would figure it out. But just thinking about like because you want to function like more public and that's how you want to get your people more in, you want to kind of advertise it to anyone and everyone, right? Opposed to other people that may not, they probably have their people already. This is who they're advertising it to. This is, faith-based. This is just donations, whatever. You're trying to get it more out there to the public. So I would have to figure that out, to be honest. Because again, you could still operate under a 508c1a if you have all your disclaimers and terms of conditions in your website.
Okay.
Without having it be an LLC. The only reason that I don't really find a reason to have an LLC. Me personally, you ask somebody else, they may be okay with it. Like, for example, even with the driver's license, I still have a driver's license, right? Some people will be like, oh, well, now you're contracting with the state. It's true. I am, because I like to rent cars, right? But then I also know how to operate in the private. So my vehicle is also private. That's not with the state. It's not registered with the state. But the driver's license that I have, I can actually go in and use it for commerce now. So I have it as a benefit. Some people don't even want that, right? So for me, when it comes to an LLC, I don't really see the point in it. Do you know what I'm saying? So because of that, I haven't really gone down the rabbit hole of how to really like have it where, because of what I do, I guess, because of what I do is I'm teaching tax freedom.
Right.
And when you're talking about LLC, you're talking about actually being with the system. So I would have to figure out how, you can funnel something through
like the marketing, right? Yeah, because I want the exposure to get people to the organization.
Yeah,
right.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
I think eventually by recommendations and then ratings on your website is gonna expand where people could reach you.
Yeah.
I don't mean.
Exactly.
I think instead of going with the LLC.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason for an LLC, again, it really just depends on how you market everything, right? Like it really just depends. Like, and again, there's things that you can put on fine print that, hey, this is a faith-based organization. I have my mentor who he sells things that are like for herbal things and all of that, not marijuana, some like some other stuff. But on his website, he has like the little links on the bottom where it shows the disclaimers. This is a faith-based organization. This is ran through donations. There's no refunds. Your donation is a donation. I'm not refunding it back. It has all of that there. But I can see that it will, it's mostly for the people that know.
Yeah, because you're not going to get like really big. You're not going to be like a super popular website running like an organization, right? You're not. It's not going to blow up, right? It's going to be very like some people are going to look at that and be like, "That's weird. I don't. I'll just go somewhere else."
Yeah, I get what you're
Uh,
I get what
uh,
you're saying. So I would look into I would look into it a little bit more. We can definitely touch base outside of today.
okay.
And I can do some more research and then I can definitely get back to you just to see, I guess mostly just, if you can even like, if it would be okay to funnel that
Mm-hmm.
without it being looked at as fraud.
Yeah. Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because we definitely don't want that. So
Mm-hmm.
because the thing is now, like, it would be where it's kind of like it would be one or the other. If I was to, like, say, I think it would be one or
Mm-hmm.
the other. Where why even, if you're going to do an LLC, just do the LLC all the way, and then just have your
Mm-hmm.
separate 508c1a, have that be separate, and then just donate it from the LLC. That's
So I'll just so I would do marketing for two different entities, not joined
so.
together.
I mean, it really depends on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that as far as you having a tax write-off so that you can have a tax write-off and you pay
Mm-hmm.
less taxes to the LLCs because you want it to be this like type of marketing way and not it be marketed as a faith-based organization or whatever, or market it as enlightenment or however you want to word it, because it is enlightenment. But if you don't want to word it that way and you want to word it a different way, more businessy, more LLC,
Mm-hmm.
if you will, then the only like logic that I'm thinking is that it's probably best that you were to just keep your LLC, run it just as an LLC, have a faith-based organization. You don't even have to have that as a marketing. You don't even have
Mm-hmm.
to market that. You just have it there, just to
Right.
utilize it, right?
And then just donate.
And now you just donate.
Okay. Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Cool. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking that will make more sense. But again, I would have to look into it. But that's what makes sense to me.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Also, I got a question.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you had mentioned about the dot plates and everything that you have. Now, how does that work as far as car insurance? And did you ever get pulled over yet? And the cop was like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
No. So okay. So the dot plates are I have my vehicle under a foreign trust, a foreign grantor trust, and I'm the trustee. So I had to rescind my registration for that vehicle. So I still have my license, but I don't have that registration for that vehicle is rescinded. So now it's operating fully private out of the jurisdiction of the United States because it's in a foreign grantor trust. So whenever they put that number in their system, they can't even see my name. That's how private it is.
That's great.
They can see that it's in there, but they can't see who's in there.
Gotcha. It's like a diplomat almost.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I've had cops behind me so many times, and I'm like, are they? And they'll follow. And I'm like, this motherfucker, I'm gonna put him on Instagram because I will. I have no problem doing this, right? Like,
Right.
you want to get famous today, sir? You will. Today's your day. But none of them have stopped me, thank God. And so, I mean, I always carry like all of my files with me in the vehicle, anyways. Like, look, I'm the trustee. These are the fee schedules. If you touch me, this is what's gonna happen. I'm non-combative. So, what's up? What do you want from me? Like, you really don't have to, like, people will advertise, like, you don't have to, show them your license. You don't have to show them anything. You don't, and it's true, you don't have to, right?
Right.
But because I'm more peaceful and I tend to just choose my battles, I rather just not that I'm gonna comply, but I'd rather just make it easy on myself. And then if I want to deal with it later and do a lawsuit, I will.
Right, exactly.
Right. But I haven't had any issues with any cops. And I've had, I want to say maybe 20 to 30 cops already behind me multiple times that do not, that have never stopped me. I've gotten stopped because I had expired registration and they had every right to stop me because when you start learning all of this, you start learning about equity. And the fact is that you're actually rolling around with the commercial plates and they do have a right to stop you because it's their trademark and it's their place. It's their property. So they're stopping you because you're riding around in their property. Now it's all about just moving the property from the public in their jurisdiction into the private.
Right, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know
Right,
if that's a question.
Yeah, no, I
So
totally.
Anything else, you guys?
Do you do private sessions?
Yeah, I have. I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna send the pamphlet right now, or the PowerPoint. I know you guys, a few of you guys have been asking for it on the messenger thing. So I'm gonna send that. If you guys give me like 5 minutes, and it'll have all of my information there, my consultations, and then because I talk a lot more other than this, but I wanted to just focus on this specifically, just because I thought it was like something that is not really talked about in the public, and I don't know why. But I thought it was really like a useful thing to, speak about and learn about. And I hope you guys learned a lot today. Sorry for my glitches this in the beginning, but yeah, no, I definitely do private consults as well.
I've got one more question for you.
Sure.
So it seems like for the benefit of being fully private, all you really need is your foreign grantors trust and your 508c1a, and you can kind of forego the LLC and then operate with those two, as long as you kind of change your status.
That's a loaded question. Let's think. There's a lot more than that. To be operating fully private, yes, and yes to everything that you said. But really, also, you would need an irrevocable trust. So the foreign grantor trust, what that does is that helps you open up bank accounts in foreign countries as well. So if you want to open up a bank account in Switzerland, whatever the hell, you can go open that. But that's for that, right? If you want to like be private just means you're transferring whatever assets that you have accumulated into your into the private jurisdiction and under your trust, and that you're the one that controls it. That's all that private means, right? And then you become the trustee, and that's with also doing your status correction, becoming the fiduciary, filing that with the IRS, sending notices out to the Attorney General, to your state and the United States Attorney General, letting them know of your status change, because everything is equity. You're operating in equity. You're giving them notice like, hey, you guys gave me this label that I was your public servant, but I'm just letting you know I'm not. So I don't give a fuck if you think that I am, but I'm letting you know that I'm not. So that's kind of what the status correction is. You do like a FOIA request for your lower cap name, not your all cap name, because if you do all cap, obviously they can find you. But if you do it in the version of where it's your uppercase and then everything else lowercase, they're not going to find you in the system, because that's not how you are registered in the system. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, that name doesn't exist. Therefore, that's not a United States citizen. You're not a United States citizen. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it gets really deep, and I don't want to confuse people on here. But yeah, just to operate privately, tax exempt, I think that the best way to do that is with the 508c1a and then an irrevocable trust.
Got it.
You just transfer all of your stuff, and then you can worry about the status correction and everything else later.
Attorney and all that other stuff later, but
right.
You'll be set up on the foundation of it.
Exactly. Because now, like Yesenia, the social security number Yesenia, like she owes $20,000. I don't know where she at. Where's she at? Can y'all find her? Cause she ain't here. You can go look at the social. She ain't here.
Right.
I don't know where she went. Why can't we find her? Yeah, because she's under a 508c1a. That's why.
Keep looking.
You know what I'm saying? And then anything that I accumulate, you know, is going to go under that. And then it's going to be under my irrevocable trust or my foreign grantor trust. So now what? What are you going to do about it? You can go look for the social security number, Yesenia, but she broke. She ain't got nothing, okay? She in debt. She's a debtor.
Yeah, we all want to be debtors, right?
Exactly.
I got a question.
Yes.
First, I want to say thank you for your time and all your information.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. I heard that you could only, like, if someone wanted to donate to your ministry, right? They could only donate pretty much like 60% of their income, right? Is that facts or no?
That I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie. So I would have to look like, you mean you're talking about like an LLC donating to the ministry?
No. Just say my 9 to 5. You know, I wanted to donate my income to a ministry to get tax write-offs, whatever, because you know I'm getting taxed, you know, from the feds and from the state and everything like that.
Yeah.
So they were saying that you could only donate X amount of money. I think it was 60% or something like that. But what is that different for? What, from trust to trust, or from business to ministry? Or
did they tell you where they found this out at? I mean, did they reference to any kind of codes or anything like that, or?
Nah, that's just something I kind of heard from someone that kind of in the same space, that they were saying that you could only donate 60% of your income from your you know, your 9 to 5. And then I also heard that, and I'm not sure how true this stuff is, I'm just kind of throwing it out there, but basically a lot of people so that same money, say you donated the 60,000 into the ministry, then the ministry could turn around and, like, how would you, like, again, so if you wanted to funnel the money through the ministry, right, how would you get it out on the back end?
How would I get it out on the back end? I would do what the gentleman was doing, like was asking earlier. I would create an LLC. I wouldn't do it off of like myself personally, as far as like the Yesenia with the social security number, because you don't get that much of a tax write-off. I don't even think that, I don't know if it really even makes a big difference, to be honest.
So just say I made $100,000, right? And I wanted to donate, say the rule was 60,000, 60%, right, of your income. So I put in 60 grand and I donated it to the ministry, right? So now only tax me on the 40, right?
Right.
That's kind of how they were saying that it benefits you, right? Because they tax you less, you know. But then you done donated to 60, right? Don't you want to be able to use that 60 because you then gave it to the church, right? To the ministry. How would you get it back from the church, or how would you, you know, obviously you own the church, right?
So you would be the authorized representative of the church, right? And now the church is helping you, the authorized representative, to be housed. So now, in order to pay your rent, you can use that. In order to pay your mortgage, if you have a mortgage, you can use that. In order to eat, you can use that. Dependent on also, like, you know, are you creating something with this faith-based organization? Like, what is your mission with the faith-based organization?
I mean, I'm just talking speaking in general, you know what I mean? Generalization, but yeah, I mean,
well, no,
could be.
The only reason that I asked this is because then if there's not a foundation, then it would look like commingling. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So there has to be some kind of foundation that you have, even though it's private, because the fact of the matter is that you're still in the public operating as a United States citizen, and now you're giving them kind of like even an LLC, right? Because it's public. So you're kind of giving them an open door, an open invitation to audit you, period. Right? Like me, I cannot be audited. I don't have anything that's public. I mean, I do, but I don't use it, right? So really, it'd be really hard to audit me. So for people that are working publicly, like under a 501c3 or under a sole proprietorship or under an LLC or as a United States citizen, you are in the public. So you're giving them an open door to question you on where the hell did your money go? Why did it go there? What's going on there? Who's the owner of that? What they're all up in your business, period. So that's why I asked, okay, let's say you were to go ahead and have, from your 100K as an example, and then give the 60% to your faith-based ministry, and you're the authorized representative. I mean, do you actually have a mission? Because if you get audited as a United States citizen, you should have something to back you up to help you in case they try to say that that's commingling. Because the door's open because you've given them permission by operating in the public to begin with. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. What I also heard was a little trick was, so basically, so say that 60K I donated to the ministry, right?
Uh-huh.
One was saying that basically the ministry could give it back to me as a loan.
Yeah, I think somebody asked that earlier, and I don't know if the ministry can actually loan on.
Well, yeah. So supposedly that you could possibly do that. You could give it back as a loan, and then you could say, you know what, I forgive you. You don't have to pay it back, and then you just get that bread. But I don't know. I you hear a bunch of things out there, man. You don't know.
Yeah, no,
really...
you definitely have to be careful. This is why I say, even with the stuff like the things I'm going to send you guys, please do the research. I mean, I've thoroughly done it. This is how I operate. So I know that what I'm giving. I didn't want to. I don't like to do lives. I mean, at all. I mean, not that I didn't enjoy you guys. I love you guys a lot. I'm saying that I don't like to do lives unless I know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit here and try to tell anybody like, and do this, do that, or you. At the end of the day, you should. Before I started my platform, I ran into so many people on Instagram, on YouTube, that did not know what the fuck you're talking about. They had no idea, and then I was following blindly. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying, did they say anything like, oh, 60%, where did that come from? Is that something they just made up? I mean, I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm just saying that you always want to fact check what the hell they're talking about, including.
But if you could use that under the 508, why would you want to send it back to the LLC?
No, not even to an LLC. I'm just talking about if you
or
work
to your bank account. But I'm saying that if you could use it under the 508 to buy stuff and all that stuff, and you're gonna be tax exempt, why would you want to put it into an account where they could track it?
Yeah, because the 508c1, they don't get any kind of tax breaks because they're not taxed. It's not taxed. So you don't get a tax break from giving money to somebody else. It's not taxed. And I believe I've read somewhere, and I can do like a part 2 of this if you guys want, but I believe I read somewhere where the church or the faith-based ministry can't actually loan anything to anyone.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. So I don't want to say that that's fact. I would have to double check to make sure that I read that properly before anybody holds me up to that, because I'm not 100% sure to that, So, yes,
the church
part 2.
could give. The church could give you, but it cannot loan you,
Yeah, I don't think the church can loan you, to be honest. I think that's not good information. And I've learned the hard way, even being in the space that I'm in right now. Like, a lot of people want to partner with me, or they want to, and unfortunately I've dealt with people who are not the best. I'm not gonna say names. I'm just gonna say that, because it's like money hunger. They charge an arm and a leg for and then they go MIA, and they don't even explain what it is that they're even selling, or asking for donations for, or you know what I mean? They're just, oh, this is the way, and then they don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they just scam you. So even with the stuff that I say, I tell you guys, please look at everything that I give you guys. Double check Make sure that you thoroughly understand, because when you thoroughly understand, now you know how to operate. Now you know that, you know, you don't need Yesenia to be by your side when shit hits the fan. If God forbid shit hits the fan, you're gonna know how to stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, a lot of the people out there, what they do, they paint a perfect picture, and then they hook it to pay them. Once you pay them, they'll be like, okay, there you go, boom. But they don't teach you how to utilize it. It's just
Right.
like, you know, me
Even
selling
like
you a tool.
with Coop, like all this stuff, like, oh, you know, you can have your like PG&E be like you know, send them the coupon and blah blah, and you do that shit and it doesn't work. And it's like, you know what, I'm not gonna teach shit that seems like, I'm sure it may work, but there's something that they're leaving out.
They always leave it out.
Yeah, this is like, this is it. This is what it is. This 508c18, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You want to be tax free? Here's a way, sir, and you know, ma'am and sirs, and this is, you know, this is the way. You know, other shit like that they're talking about, like, you know, how to do this and how to do that. I don't even want to touch that stuff. Because I've tried it. You know, before I started talking on my platform, I was doing all the research, and then I would just get on someone's platform or start listening to them, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the way out. Oh my God, this is the way out. And then I would just do it and not actually go and learn it myself, just kind of go off of word of mouth, and it wouldn't work. You know what I mean? No, like I said, not a lot of people are talking about 508c18. Why is nobody talking about this? Why is nobody talking about how to transfer all of this stuff into the 508 and then have the trust also control it and own it? That's how you really get your property and your assets really away from government overreach. That's how you stop from being leaned on your house. You know what I mean? And then people that are teaching this, they're charging like $10,000, which is crazy. I was in one of those classes. I mean, they tried to charge me 10,000. I was like, what are you smoking, sir? That must be some good stuff. Because didn't you just say like money's unlimited? So why do you need $10,000? You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Yesenia, just curious, have you had any experience or success with the whole bill remittance thing that you just mentioned?
The whole what? Sorry.
With like bills?
With Bill? A guy bill?
No, just remitting your bills.
Oh,
like,
have I had success?
Set off?
No.
No, okay. Just curious.
No, I have not had the success with that, but the fact of the matter is, like, you know, there's all these things like QSIP and this and that, and then the rabbit hole gets even further down and further down, and then you have to create what is that account? Not the IRS account. You have to create a what?
CDA account?
No. It's another one. Let me see if I have it here. I probably should have it in my bookmark.
Treasury Direct?
Yes, Treasury Direct.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Treasury Direct, yeah.
Exactly. So I have all of that stuff set up. I did I ordered my 1099 forms. I ordered all of that stuff. So I'm going to try it that way. But I don't want to bring it to the public unless I know that it worked. Because I feel like a lot of people are bringing shit to the public and they're just repeating shit from another person. Oh, it works. Now pay me because I told you it works. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to work because that's what they have to do. And it's like, well, where's your proof at? Oh, that's for the private. Or, you know, it's like, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a daredevil and I try things out. And then if it doesn't work for me, then it won't work. I can let the public know that it doesn't work or something. But I rather talk about it and maybe I'm thinking about, like, okay, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I need to learn a little bit more. Maybe it's something that I didn't comprehend completely, or I missed a step, right? Maybe it's that I got to do something else, and then I can, you know, operate like this and get, you know, use a 1099-A form to go ahead and write this off or cancel this debt or do this or do that or whatever. But I don't want to sit on here and start talking about that when I haven't done it. If I can't show you that, or if I can't really in my soul know that this is the steps on how to do it, I'd rather not even talk about it. Because then, you know what I'm saying? Because then it's just going to create, it's going to create something like a false dream. I don't know.
Just like everybody else is doing. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I hear you.
I'd rather just say, look, you want a solution right now? Are you, is the IRS coming after you? Go get a bank account under 508C1A. You know what I'm saying? Move your shit, and now they can't lien your bank account.
That's right.
Do you know
also, with the irrevocable, do you include the UCC1 and with that?
With the irrevocable, no.
Okay.
No.
I got one question with the irrevocable trust. Now, I heard that you have to have a birth certificate that has the state file number on it. Is there a way that you could just use like a birth certificate that you may have the registry number?
What does the birth certificate have to do with the trust?
Well, they say with the irrevocable, I'm sorry, with the SPC.
Oh, with the SPC again. So with the SPC, I haven't even touched that. So I mean, I have touched it. I have, and I try to do it by myself, and yeah, it didn't work out for me. But again, I don't think I did it the right way. I think if I'm going to talk about this right now, just for like a minute or so, what I will say is that the way that people are being taught, because I've been in the space for about 5 years. I just started my platform like last year and talking about it. But I've been in the space for 5 years, and I ran through trials and errors, from experience and from people telling me, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And then me thinking, oh, okay, because they have so much more knowledge than me, I'm going to do whatever they say, like an idiot, because you should definitely never just do what anybody says. But I went ahead and did, just that. And I got rejected 4 times. I tried. And they were saying, oh, no, you need to have it where it's your lowercase name or, uppercase, lowercase, whatever. And then that's going to lean your all caps name. Okay. That's what was going around when I was listening to all this SPC stuff. Then I come to find out I'm reading myself, doing more research by myself without having somebody tell me what it is. Reading a lot more, understanding the power of trust, the power of a live-in trust, right? Because an irrevocable should always remain private. It should never, ever be in the public, right? And so then you have a live-in trust. A live-in trust kind of goes in the public and in the private. It kind of just goes back and forth, right? So then I started thinking, okay, I ended up getting denied like 4 times. And they sent me letters that I was fraudulently trying to do shit. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, all these people are saying this. And then when I started going through everything, I'm like, I think I know what I did wrong. And it's that, and again, I'm going to retry it and I'll let you guys know, but I don't want to really touch the subject too much because again, I don't want to spread misinformation, but I think that the way that it's supposed to be done is, and don't quote me on this because I haven't done it myself and I don't know 100%, but from the logic and the reading that I've gotten and my studies is that with the live-in trust that you create and you become the trustee of that trust, because it's an entity, a public entity, it operates in the public and in the private, the live-in trust. That is the trust that you're going to want to go ahead and lien your straw man because it has to be an entity and an entity together. So when I was reading all the stuff that I was reading back then or listening to people, I'm like, what the fuck were they talking about? They're going to get people in fucking jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are they talking about? They're saying that you can do the lowercase, uppercase, whatever bullshit. That's not an entity. That lowercase, uppercase name doesn't exist in their system because it's not an entity. The whole point is that your all caps name is an entity. So how the hell can a non-entity go ahead and lien an entity? It can't. Just like if you were to go to court and you're like, I'm not the all straw man name, I'm the living woman. They're going to kick your ass out of the fucking court because they can't deal with you.
Right.
They can't do business with unless you are a dead corp, unless you are a public something.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally.
So that would be my logic behind that. I haven't done it yet because I've been so focused on the 508c1a stuff and the irrevocable trust, but that would be my knowledge on the SPC. And that would be my next step once I was to try that again, is to have my living trust lien, Yesenia. But before Yesenia gets liened by the living trust, I have to first now learn how to, by the treasury account, how to what's it called, discharge the debt that I have with the IRS, which is the 20,000, because the IRS does have a lien on Yesenia. Do you know what I'm saying? For the 20,000. So before I can even have the trust lien Yesenia, the IRS is already first in line. They already beat me to the punch.
Right.
So I can't even touch that subject right now because I don't know too much of it. But that would be my logic of thinking of that. You know what I mean? It's like no one gets to lien Yesenia now. Now she's just debtor to me forever, and it would be the living trust.
Right. Exactly. Gotcha. Okay. And the other quick question, not to take too much of your time, but the when you do the irrevocable trust, so you don't need to have like that birth certificate that has the state file number on it, right? You could just do it with like a regular birth certificate.
Right. It can be something from the Bible, honestly.
Gotcha.
It can be like I've seen people do it with like, I don't know if you have, because I don't have it, but for my kids I have it. It was their like little imprints of their little feet,
right,
and their name in uppercase, lowercase format.
Okay.
And so it can even be that. It doesn't have to be because when you think about the birth certificate, like, yeah, you want to be in charge of, you want to control the straw man, right? But at the end of the day, that birth certificate, it really doesn't belong to you because you didn't really create it. The state created it.
State property.
It's state property.
So you can create your own private birth certificate, right?
You can create, you can, exactly. So like if you, like I've seen people do it with the Bible, like I mentioned, they record it on there. On this
That's
day,
what was done back in the day. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So on this day, at this time, this is when so and so was born, and let it be documented, and recorded. It's private.
So you can record your own as of now?
Yeah, we're doing what the state did because
Yeah.
our names are state property. At the top of your birth certificate, it says state of California, state of Florida. So Florida state, California, they own your all caps name. They created that name.
They created it.
They created that name, so they own it. So that's where we want to copycat what they're doing. Okay, you made me state property, so now I'm going to take my name back. I'm going to take my kids back, create my own private birth certificate with their feet print, just as you said, and date, time, put it in the private Bible, and it's law. It's your own private documents.
Yep, and that's in your private irrevocable trust.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else you guys have? Any questions?
One more and that's it. So when I go get an account for the 508, I just gotta tell them it's just gonna be for donations.
Yes.
Or do I take a cover letter to them or no? Or
Well, it's all in my bundle.
Oh, okay.
But it's you don't have to take anything to the bank. I mean, some banks may ask, depending on what bank. My bank did ask for my stuff. They wanted to see the declaration. They wanted to see like the minutes, the notarization, all of that. So I was well prepared. That's why I sell the bundle the way that I sell it, because it's like, just in case you have everything that you need here. Okay. The only thing is that you may have a problem with is, okay, if that bank doesn't want to give it to you for whatever reason, you just go to another bank. Just go to another bank. But another thing is what is the verbiage on the letter that the IRS gave you? Because there's certain verbiage on there that if the bank may say, oh, well, we can't, like they did to me at first, we can't open it under, a nonprofit because, or tax exempt because this says that it was open for business purposes. So then you would have to call the IRS, talk to their legal department, and then, let them know this EIN, it is not a business. It is not a sole proprietorship. It is not, receiving income or going to generate income or any kind of payments. It is a self-supported, faith-based organization. Period. That's all they have to know. That's all. They'll ask a question. Oh, well, what does your, faith-based organizations? It enlightens people. It doesn't have to make sense to you, IRS. You may believe in monkeys, and I don't. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's real. Hey, last question. What's the difference with you between your living trust and your private irrevocable in terms of using the two? I don't know, like, does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So the irrevocable is literally irrevocable. Like, I know that if you go on the IRS website, it's going to be like, oh, click here for an irrevocable trust. Nah, that shit is not irrevocable. They can revoke it. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
It is private. It's not like registered with them or like anything to do with the IRS. It shouldn't even have an EIN with the IRS. The only thing it should have is you should send it registered mail to yourself or to a PO box or whatever, because registered mail is when you operate kind of registered mail is mostly for when people are operating or handling their affairs in the private. Yeah. That is what the registered mail sticker is for, right? You're given notice to them that you have a private and whatever it is that's private. It can be a private trademark. It could be a private, whatever it is that's private to you, right?
Yeah.
In this case, it would be an irrevocable private. Huh?
Yeah.
And so now a living trust is different. The living trust is revocable. Okay. The private trust, irrevocable. You can have an irrevocable trust for generations. It just gets passed down to your family, to your grandkids, to your great grandkids, blah, 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 however you want to have that. Yeah. Now the living trust is for you to operate in the public and in the private.
Uh-huh.
So they're revocable. You can't really operate in the public. And then the living trust, you operate it in the public and in the private. A living trust, you can, and I can do like another video on this if you guys want, but like you can literally get life insurance and get loans from your life insurance to fund your living trust.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'd love to know more about that.
Yeah. So because you're using that in the public as a public little chess piece, if you will, or a monopoly piece.
So that's when you can use your policy and borrow against
Exactly.
it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And I'm supposed to be talking to this girl who reached out to me. But I've been very I've been really sad because a lot of people that have reached out to me, they end up either doing me wrong, doing my people wrong. And it gets me to the point where it's like, I just have my walls up and I'm just like, you're out here to scam me. You're out here trying to get the people that are following me and you're trying to scam them. So I've been very sheltered and trying to be very vigilant on who I allow near me. But this lady is a insurance expert on life insurance and how to have that borrow with your, to your trust or whatever. But I haven't really talked to her. So I may want to reach out to her and just see what she's talking about, but just to kind of pick her brain and then see. But at the end of the day, it's better to always do your due diligence and really do the research and
Like me, I deal with this life insurance company, PHP. They're real big. I'm learning a lot about it. And like you could get an IUL, put it under the trust, and that's how, like, say you got a $500,000 policy, you put it under the trust, and it don't have to be paid off, and you could borrow against it because of that gives you that net worth.
I see. See, I didn't know that. Yeah.
And then an IUL is good because you got, like, you earn money yearly. Like, say you could earn from 6 to 9% yearly, and then you could dump money into it, and there's like a savings, but then later you could pull out of it and they don't tax you or they don't penalize
That's really good to know.
you. Versus and that one, it does not expire, versus like a term life insurance. They give it to you for 10, 15, or 20 years. Say you don't die within the time, so it expires and you lose that money. And then and IUL, you continue with it, and then later, like I said, you could pull money out of it, or you could even sell it and get your money.
That's really good. I didn't know that. See?
Yeah. So I got a policy for me and one for each of my kids, and that way I'm gonna start dumping money in there by the time they're 18, 19, and they need their dad. I need a car. Well, pull it out of your account, and it's tax free. I mean, I do tell them too. I'm like, look, you guys got extra money, 20, $10. You just give it to me and be like, here, put it in my account. That way they could learn to start saving on their own, because kids, Dad, I want to buy a game. No. So I wanna teach them all this stuff too. Like, I'm gonna be like, well, if you start reading this and learn about this.
Of independence.
Yes, that's what. Well, I got them the little booklet, and I tell them, I said, you need to learn this.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard.
No, it's not. It's just, just say, hey, you know what? You wanna like, I told my son, I bribe him. I'm like, look, you're gonna, because he's not in summer camp right now. I'm like, you gotta get in summer camp, because you can't just sit here and look at me all day. Because I'm working. So it's like, I mean, I'm not working, but I'm like working on projects. I'm talking to people on the phone, and I'm like, he needs to get out. I mean, he does jujitsu and stuff, but other than that, he's like, no, I'm okay. I'm like, okay, well, I'll put you to read. I'll put you to clean the house. I'm gonna give you some money. Like, you can, let's go get you a lawnmower. Let's go get your lawnmower. You go, mow the people's lawns around the neighborhood, get paid for that. And then we're going to do a book project, and you're going to write me down, what this says. And if it's good, we can go get some ice cream, or we can go do this, or, you want to go to the mall and look at some shoes. Cool, let's do it. And he's like, oh yeah, I want some shoes that just came out. Boom, I got him to start reading the Declaration of Independence. And now that's all he asks me. Well, why do people get taxed? And why do people do this? And why do people, and and he's like, and now he's thinking like, oh, wow. Like, it makes sense. Like, people don't get taught this in school, because why would they? This is the system, so you gotta just start somewhere.
Yeah, it's just like the guy that started that company, PHP. What he does, he's got a little program for his kids, and he's like, they don't get nothing for free. They have to, like, if they want a puzzle, they want a game, they want a video game, anything that they want, a TV, they have to, like, he puts the boxes up there, and he's like, you got to read 10 books for this. You got to read 20 books for that. You got to read 30 books for that. And then he goes back and asks them, hey, well, what you get out of the book? And that way he knows that they read it. Because reading it's gets you real smart.
Oh no, it definitely does. I mean, he now asks me all this question. Where did you learn that at? I'm like, in a book. Go read it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's good. You just gotta start somewhere. So anyways, well, thank you guys so much for joining. If there's anything else you guys want to ask before I log off, now is your chance, or forever hold your peace.
So I don't know. I had another question, but I forgot.
Oh, Jesus, are you on IG, bro? I wanna talk to you about that IUL for my son.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm under.
So we're networking. Let's do it.
I'm
So
under.
Yesenia,
Yeah, just type it in the chat if you can.
Yesenia, I had a question.
Yeah. What's up?
Just real quick, like for a situation where I'm employed and I have income coming to my name, I would be able to use the ministry to maybe what would I have to do to apply the ministry for in order for it to get paid and then I get paid through the ministry? I would have to have my job hire the ministry and instead of my name or something like that.
It would be where the ministry were to hire you for some kind of like mission outreach. You know what I'm saying? So like think of it like a church, right? Like, you know, people are out there trying to learn, do whatever.
Yeah.
They're
They hire
teaching
me
something,
to do an
right?
assignment.
An
and
assignment, right? So then they get provided for the food, provided for the shelter, whatever, right? So that's what the ministry, the 508c1a will do for you, an example. So now you're donating from your job into the ministry to support you on tax exempt money, right? Even though you were already taxed from your job, right? But the thing is that now you may be eligible to receive more of what they took away because now they're only going to look at like, you know, and I'm not sure if that was you who asked or if it was somebody else, but you know, if it's true that it's only 60% that you can actually donate, I would have to double check that. But let's say you are making 100,000 and then you can only donate 60,000 to your ministry. Well, now you're only going to be taxed for the 40,000. And so now the IRS, whatever they took from the 100,000 originally, they're going to have to give you a higher refund back to you.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Again, I don't know if the 60% is true though. I'm not going to say that I do know that, but
yeah, it could be all of it.
It could be less, it can be more, it can be all of it. I would have to double check. And I definitely let you guys know once I figure it out. But it's definitely something that you should also research. And also, you know, like once you do dump the money into your ministry, then it's really like, what do you want to do about it? You know, you can create a platform, right? You can start just uploading stuff about, you know, truth. That can be a mission. Whatever it is that your calling is, it's not for me to decide, but you know, it's just an idea for you, right? Do you want to just, you know, go on Instagram, run your Instagram through that EIN, the 508c1a, and then have the donations be through there as well. So now you have that donation, now you have the donations from your job, and now you have a platform that you can be like, look, I'm posting about my ministry.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else, you guys? Going
Amazing
once?
presentation. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you all so much for joining me today and for your time. I'll go ahead and be sending off if anyone's interested. I know a lot of people logged off too, but if anyone's interested in my little bundles or consultations or donations, you know, feel free to go ahead and, you know, send anything my way if you like. But if not, I will see you guys. Maybe I'll make like another video next month. I'll, you know, do another one. I got to figure out this iMac. I don't know why it was kicking me off. Like I'm literally working off of my iPad right now. So, I got to figure out this iMac. But yeah, definitely, if you guys want to email me back and let me know what you guys want to learn on the next one, maybe I'll do a part 2 of just like a follow-up with the masterclass of this, like the questions of like, you know, the 60%, all this other stuff. I can do that, or I can talk about something else. You guys let me know.
If you could borrow against the assets that you put under the 508, that would be great.
Okay. I'll definitely look into that. And I'm actually going to talk to the lady. I'm going to reach out to her. She's been trying to reach out to me. And, you know, I think we had a conversation earlier today where, you know, somebody left a bad taste in my mouth and somebody else just did the same thing. I'm not even going to lie. So I'm to the point where I'm like, you know what? Do I have to fly solo? Because of all these people that are acting like what they ain't. I don't know. But I'll probably reach out to her. She seems really
And then I'm gonna send a lot of clients because like I said, I've been doing this. I'm starting to do the life insurance thing, and it works in conjunction with the trust. So I've been telling a lot of my clients, a lot of people about the trust. So now that I know where to send them, trustworthy. So I'm gonna send you a lot of clients.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Ruben.
Like I said,
I mean,
I've been
Jesus.
learning the hard way. So
No, I appreciate it. It's just, it's just crazy because it's like, you just don't know. And when I started on the platform, hella people were just reaching out to me. They're like, you should push this and you should push that. And I can help you. And then I'm going to help you and then just push my stuff out. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, let's partner up and let's, do you know what I
Is
mean?
did you have any or are you gonna, do you think you can speak more on the 12 USC 411? Did you have any luck with that? Never mind, that says it all.
What happened?
But oh, you guys got jokes now. Y'all got
Oh,
No,
we just don't know. We don't know.
I genuinely wanted to know, like, did
What
that
jokes?
ever, does that work, or I don't know.
Y'all got some jokes over here. Okay, what's comedy? Thursday night stand-up comedy? Was that what we're doing now?
Well, I guess it was genuinely a question, but your reaction kind of says it. So I mean, I get it.
Yeah, again, you have to, in this space, it's discernment, and
Yeah.
and I genuinely see the good in everyone, and that can be one of my that can be a weakness of mine, and if I'm just being honest with myself, because I do, I see the best in people. Like, I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to be tax free. I want everyone to not be like, under government control. I think that everyone in the these are my thoughts. Like, everyone in the movement is just trying to help, and even though there are scam artists out there, because there is, and unfortunately I've seen it, at least in my, and if I look at the bright side, hey, they actually awakened someone to know that the system is against them. Not saying that they should have got scammed at the same time, because the system's scamming them and now these motherfuckers are trying to scam them. But I'm just saying, like, everything has its purpose if I'm going to look at the bright side. But yeah, I've learned things the hard way. Let's just say that. I've learned a few things the hard way, and and it is what it is. It's fine, but there is rules that have to be followed, just like the 508c1a, just like the 501c3, whatever the fuck, and there should be full disclosure on a lot of stuff, and a lot of people don't give the full disclosure on their shit, and that's why when I, thought about making this class, I was like, oh, this is going to be a great class because this is all full disclosure. There's nothing that, there's questions that I probably don't know 100%, but I'm going to be honest about it. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm going to provide all the facts that I do know and where I got the facts from for you guys to go and look, you know what I'm saying? But then there's that people with platforms that just, I don't know, they're trying to get famous. I don't fucking know. I don't know. That's not how I started. I'll tell you that right now. I did not start to get famous. Okay. I started because I legit got left by my ex-husband, and he thought I was a fucking psycho, and I was suicidal. And because I was with him for about 15 years, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh my God, he doesn't believe anything that I say. Like, this is supposed to be my best friend. And Instagram and all this was actually an outlet for me to let out the stuff that I was learning. And people just came. It wasn't because I honestly thought nobody was going to listen to me, honestly. So I did this for fame.
Surprise, you got a huge following here.
I did not do this for fame. Okay.
Hey, but it really sucks because there's a lot of them out there, and they talk a good one.
Oh, they got a good mouthpiece. I'm telling you.
And it's like, man, like it sucks because you really want to get the freedom, and then they're guiding you the wrong way, and then you try to apply that, and then boom.
Or they just want to take all your money They don't even know what the fuck
Yeah,
they're talking about.
yeah. So it's like it's crazy, man. How that works? It
It is.
sucks.
Yeah. I've met someone who actually dished out to some other person. I think they have like 300 or 500,000 followers, and they ended up dishing out to them $20,000, and they never ever reached back out to them. Never answered any of their phone calls, blocked them on IG, all that crazy shit. I was like, what the fuck? Do you know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you, people are money hungry out here.
No, I'm telling you. And then I've even, but then it's like people too, like, come on, there's girls that are making money, like promoting this, like, you know, saying that they know what the fuck you're talking about, and their tits are half out. I'm like, she doesn't look like she knows what she's talking about. Like, if you look at her IG, it don't look like she knows what it looks like she's
not,
kind of like, you know,
she looks more like a only
like,
fan.
and it's like, now if you go to that, okay, you gotta get what you deserve. I'm sorry, but yeah, no, this girl literally took $8,000 from this man. Okay, this is a true story, you guys. This is a true story. And oh my god, I was fucking blown away, because I was like, who is this girl? So when I looked at her IG, I was like, where the fuck in her IG did it seem like she had any fucking knowledge? Because she seems like a dumbass bitch. I mean, I'm just being honest, right? And so she convinced the guy to give her $8,000 to not pay his mortgage, right? Because she was going to help him with bankruptcy and all this bullshit. And so he gave it to her, and he got put out on the streets. He was on the verge of committing suicide.
Holy shit. That's crazy.
And then I'm thinking, like, how does this bitch sleep at night? How do you sleep at night after you do that to somebody? Some poor old man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Could have put that money to his mortgage, because even though he was behind, he could have caught up a little bit, right? Yeah. Instead of giving it to her, she gave him false promises, and now he's in the streets.
She's a snake.
It's fucked up.
And I just see a lot of it. People have the wrong love for money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They do. It's just, I don't know. It sucks. Like, I want to build wealth to help out my family and other people in need. Like, because I've been through the struggle. Like, I really, you know what I mean? But I guess there's a difference.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. So, you know, it's all about discernment. Really, like I say, even with the stuff that I say, cool, pull it up just to make sure that I'm accurate. And if I'm not, come and tell me. I need to learn this, because the stuff that I put out, I like, again, I don't say this like for people to be like, oh, she has kids and blah, 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 blah. No, if I drop dead tomorrow, there needs to be a little pathway that my kids can look back and be like, let me see what she was working on. She was talking about this. I'm not trying to put, that's why I don't talk about SPC stuff on there, because I'm not 100% sure yet. That's why I don't talk about the 1099 discharge, because I'm not 100% sure yet. But best believe that when I get that shit down, I will talk about it. And I will, you know what I'm saying? But because I don't have that down 100%, I'd rather not even put it out there, because why confuse the public? And then not only that, but then my kids, in case they go and look at my shit, should I drop dead, God forbid. That's just gonna be confusion. So I rather just put stuff out that I 100% am knowing that is accurate. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah. Love you too, OJ. Aww. All right, you guys. Well, if that's it, thank you so much for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure having you guys all here. You guys are amazing. Keep up the great work, because honestly, I couldn't do this without you guys. And I feel like, you know, fortunate and grateful that I'm not alone, because that's kind of where I started in my journey. I felt so alone. So thank you. It really makes me feel better that there's people like you guys out there doing what you're doing, learning what you're learning, teaching your kids what needs to be taught, you know, for the next generation, for my kids, for my grandkids, for everybody, you know. So thank you. I love you guys so much.
Thank you, Yesenia.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let us know when part 2 is ready.
Okay, I will. And then I'll email you guys all the slides right now. I keep saying that, but the stupid computer, I'm going to throw it across the fucking room.
No worries, no worries.
All right, we'll talk soon, you guys.
God bless. God
Have a
bless.
good
Appreciate
night.
you,
Good night,
sis.
everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good
All
night.
right.